Divine Sword of the Douluo Spiritual Pearl. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 376, The Legend of Fire in the Ice and the Fiber Dancing Snow Satin. You ruthless and unreasonable little boy, you actually locked me up for 2 whole hours. What on earth did you do? You don't need to work here in this world of ice and snow, do you? In the Sea of Spirit, Tianlin Bingxi kept thinking. In the past, it had not been this angry for 12 years, after being sealed by the dark gold terror claw bear, but in these 2 short moments, it seemed as if 100 years had passed. It had been used to living a free life, and it suddenly returned to the situation before. No wonder it would complain like that. Brother, Xianmeng, I really didn't do anything. You also said that I'm not interested in this world of ice and snow. I just simply forgot about you. Tianlin said, angering the insect to death. Damn it, you value sex over friends. No, I must let you become a god as soon as possible, and then use your divine power to reshape your divine body into a divine beast. Only in this way can I get true freedom. Tianmeng Bingxi said unhappily. While they were talking, the 2 of them and 1 insect had arrived at a snow-white forest. This was the Soul Beast Forest and the Frost Forest in the Douluo Continent, second only to the Stardow Forest and the Sunset Forest. The 6th Soul Ring of Oscar in the original work was obtained by hunting a 20,000-year-old mirror beast here. After passing through this forest, we reach the far north point, when Oscar reaches level 60. Tianlin is still ready to let him come here to hunt for this soul ring. After all, the mirror intestine is indeed very abnormal. As long as different people have enough blood, the endless fighting methods will be quite troublesome for anyone. Brother, Xianmeng, Rang has broken through level 60, and I have also broken through level 80. It's time to hunt for soul rings and advance. Anyway, Tang Heo used to leave. It will probably take several days to get here. Let's go. How about taking advantage of this time to complete the promotion? There should be wind attributed soul beasts in the Frost Forest, right? Tianlin asked. It's so cold and windy here. I think besides water and ice, many wind attribute soul beasts should also like it here. Of course there is, but it's not suitable for you, because the oldest person is only about 70,000 years old, and your 8th ring must also start at 100,000 years, otherwise it will be a waste of your current strong physical fitness. Tianmeng Iceworm, he said, I once heard a legend that deep in the far north, there is a hot place called the fire in the ice. The hottest fire burns in the coldest ice, but no one knows that where is the place, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I know that the legend is true because I have actually seen a fire attribute soul beast fight Bingbing. Although Bingbing won in the end, the victory was not easy. According to my estimation, that the age of the flame soul beast, at least close to 200,000 years, can be used to suppress Bingbing for a short time by relying on the conflicting attributes. A fire attribute soul beast that can fight with the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion. Tianlin was delighted. The weakest attribute on his body now is actually fire. Of course, it does not refer to quality, but quantity. He only has a 1,000-year-old spirit beast on his body. The purple fire golden eye beast soul ring is a fire attribute and is too weak. The elemental imbalance of the magic sword is completely unavoidable, but for Tianlin, it is enough on this continent. The missing part can only be supplemented by the elemental god after he becomes a god. Brother Meng, that day, do you know where the Land of Flames is? Of course I don't know. Tianmeng Bingbing said confidently. Brother is an ice type soul beast that has no fighting ability. There is no difference between going there and seeking death. But I'm sure that's no emperor or Bingbing must know. As long as they find them, there is a chance to find that place. Tianlin sighed helplessly. Oh, well, it seems that my promotion to Soul Douluo will be delayed for a few more days. In that case, let's help Rangrang advance to Soul Emperor first. It's simple. Your Rangrang 6th ring needs 6 days to increase. Then just find any auxiliary spirit beast. Let's take Xianwu Snow Satin, a snowflake type spirit beast. Haven't you seen it before? the martial spirit of the dancing girl from Xianshu Academy. Qian Mengbingsi introduced. This Xian Wu snow silkworm has no combat ability. It is a purely auxiliary spirit beast. Its ability is to control the weather, which can also be regarded as an increase. For example, it allows it rains harder, the snow falls faster, etc. The 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda is very compatible. Ningrangrang should be able to gain attribute increases by absorbing this soul ring. After listening to Qian Mengbingkun's introduction, Tianlin nodded in approval and conveyed this suggestion to Ningrangrang. Xian Wu. Snow Satin. Yes, my father also told me that if I encounter Xian Wu Snow Satin of the right age when passing through the frost forest, I can directly absorb it. Ningrangrang fully agreed. Qibao Glazed Zangzi has a system for cultivating the 7 treasures glazed pagoda. Xian Wu Snow Satin was also one of the first choices for the 7 treasures glazed pagoda soul ring. However, this kind of soul ring is generally only used for the 3rd ring at most. Tianlin didn't know the specific reason. His knowledge of soul beasts was really pitifully small, but since Ningrangrang and Qian Mengbingkun both said it was okay, then there wouldn't be any problem. Following Qian Meng Iceworm's guidance, Tianlin and Ningrangrang came to an icy lake. Above the lake, there were many snowflakes like elves floating, and they were dancing gracefully. It's so cute. Ningrangrang seemed to like this kind of soul beast very much. Her eyes were shining brightly. After all, she is a girl, and she has no resistance to cute things. It's best not to fall in love with soul beasts. Rangrang, don't forget, you will hunt and kill one of them later. Tianlin warned. Brother, Jian is indeed a scumbag in soul beast training. Xian Wu snow forging is different from other soul beasts. The way to obtain their soul rings is not by ordinary hunting, but by directly absorbing their cultivation, and the soul rings will be produced. Ningrangrang smiled and looked at a fiber dancing snow satin, and waved to it. Come to sister. Hearing Ningrangrang's call, a palm-sized slender snow satin flew into Ningrangrang's palm. This soul beast is too obedient. I have never seen a soul beast delivered to my door. Tianlin said strangely. Qian Mengbingshun glanced at Tianlin with disdain. Little god, your family has such good resources. Can't you read a book for a while? The essence of Xian Wu Snow Satin is a snowflake. You can think that it has absorbed the essence of Qibao. They are refined by the endless cold air of the land, but they have no intelligence. Only when they reach 100,000 years will they have the same wisdom as humans. It can be said that they are the slowest growing spirit beasts, and once they grow to for more than 1,000 years, it is easy for other soul beasts to absorb their cultivation, because they are too obedient, and therefore, it is extremely difficult for such soul beasts to grow. Let alone 10,000 years, or 1,000 years is extremely rare. Fortunately, they only need to cultivate themselves. Generally, neither humans nor soul beasts will kill them. They can be allowed to grow again. It is like the gods have closed a door for them and opened a window at the same time. Bah, what Ningrangrang has in her hands now is a slim dance snow satin that has just passed a century. It suits her very well. Use your phantom water thunder to raise its cultivation level to 20,000 years, which is just the limit. Chapter 377 Arrival at the Far North. Qian Meng Iceworm's Sincerity. Okay, the 5th soul skill, Phantom Water and Thunder, based on Qian Mengbing's suggestion. Tianlin used Phantom Water Thunder to inject 20,000 years of cultivation into the Xian Wu Snow Satin elf. A look of pain appeared on the originally cute face. The increase of the magic sword is too overbearing, and the soul beast with weak physical fitness does not like this feeling of becoming stronger. The snow elf gradually grew up under the magic water and thunder. If she was a little lolly just now she is like a girl, but she still looks ignorant. It seems that what Qian Mengbingshun said is right. Only when she grows to 100,000 years and becomes a royal sister can she truly open up her spiritual wisdom. Ningrangrang stepped forward and caressed the slim dance snow satin. I'm begging you this time. Please give me your power and help me obtain the 6th soul ring. Xian Wu. Zuden slowly approached Ningrangrang. She didn't like the power Tianlin gave her. It was too domineering and felt like it was going to burst her body. Although she had no intelligence, she still had biological instincts. Fiber snow satin poured all of her 20,000 years of cultivation into Ning Rangrang's 9 treasure glazed pagoda, and a black 6th soul ring emerged on the 6th floor of the tower. After losing her cultivation, the girl became a lolly again, but she looked very relaxed. Ning Rangrang picked up the fiber dance snow satin and kissed her on the face. Thank you. Go back and continue dancing with your companions. This is really the easiest 6th ring to get. Tianlin looked at the Zion Wu snow satin flying back and wondered if he could turn one back. After all, her method of producing soul rings is so special. If she uses her magic water thunder, she can produce soul rings in batches, but in the blink of an eye, Tianlin got rid of this unrealistic idea. Fiber snow satin's physical fitness was too weak. Judging from the pained expression of the elf just now, it was okay to do it once or twice, but with this fiber snow satin it will definitely explode. Perpetual motion machines are indeed unlikely, so let's just let them continue to dance here. At this time, Ning Rangrang has completely absorbed the energy of the 6th ring, and all attributes have been improved. The stronger she is, the greater her help will be in the future. I must be the first person to have a 20,000-year-old slim dance snow satin soul ring. Ning Rangrang said with a charming smile. Zion Wu snow satin grows slowly and is easily absorbed by other soul beasts. Ning Rangrang has never heard of Zion Wu snow satin that is more than 5,000 years old. With her 10,000-year soul ring, she is rightly ranked first. Rangrang, what is your current level? Tianlin asked with concern. Ning Rangrang not only absorbed a 20,000-year-old soul ring, but also used the medicinal effects of 2 elixirs, the crystal immortal pill and the heaven building pill. With all activated, he speculated that it couldn't be as simple as just passing level 60, but he couldn't be sure, because he didn't have a soul ring at the time. I'm at level 64, and I feel that my current cultivation speed is no slower than when I was at level 50. Thank you, Brother Jian. This is all your credit. Ning Rangrang jumped into Tianlin's arms and exclaimed with joy. Zhujiao, her current qualifications are far beyond the average innate full soul power. Perhaps there is still a gap compared to Qian Ringsu, who is born at level 20. But even if the original protagonist Tang Sun is not dead, with the help of Zuan Shengong, it will be difficult to catch up with her current cultivation speed. Tianlin was very satisfied with this. Now Ning Rangrang should barely have the qualifications of a first level god. In the blink of an eye, several days have passed. Tianlin and Ning Rangrang have walked through the frost forest and truly entered the far north. As they go deeper, the snow on the ground becomes thicker and thicker, covering the ground. It broke the knees of 2 people. Fortunately, the 2 of them were now quite advanced in cultivation, so it was not difficult for them. Unlike the frost forest, soul beasts that are over 10,000 years old can be seen everywhere here. The climate in the extreme north is too harsh, and most soul masters are not willing to come here to hunt for soul rings, and the soul beasts that can live here are all powerful beings excluding ferocious beasts such as Dishan, Ice Sky Snow Girl, etc. The overall combat power of the soul beasts in the far north even far surpassed that of the Stardao Forest. Xian Mengbingxi said, while pointing the direction for Tianlin. Zai Ocean, continue going north. This is just the edge of the extreme north. The target we are looking for must be in the deepest part, brother. Xian Meng, don't be anxious. What we have to do now is to wait and see. I estimate that Tang Heo will not take the path of the frost forest, but will go directly over the snow-capped mountains to reach this far north as quickly as possible. So we are going to block him over there. I think he should be arriving soon. After Tianlin finished speaking, he took Ning Rangrang's hand and continued to move forward. As it got darker, the 2 of them finally found a cave and prepared to spend the night there. Tianlin held Ning Rangrang in his arms. He had the ultimate fire protection and could help Ning Rangrang by giving him his warmth. She keeps warm. It's so warm. It's obviously such a cold place, but being in Brother Jian's arms feels as comfortable as basking in the sun in spring. Ning Rangrang found a comfortable position, buried her head in Tianlin's chest, and slowly fell asleep. It's great. It would be great if I could be like this with Bing Bing one day, but it doesn't matter. We are very close to Bing Bing now, and I will be able to see her soon. Tianmeng Binkan was filled with envy. Seeing this, Tianlin asked in a gossipy manner, "Brother Tianmeng, I remember that the Ice Jade Scorpion clan has always used the Ice Silkworm clan as food. Why are you so fascinated by the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion? Ocean, you don't understand. Love does not distinguish between races." No, you will ask. Not only are we from different races, but we are also natural enemies. How can we fall in love? In fact, after reaching our level, race is no longer a constraint. What I pursue is more spiritual integration. You have heard me tell you about my attitude towards me. To be honest, a large part of the reason why I'm eager to become your soul ring is because I cannot wait any longer. I'm afraid that her end will eventually come, and she will survive. Don't go. I love her, but I don't force her to love me. However, no matter what, I will do my best to let her live. And my selfishness makes me hope that she can always be with me. Even if it scolds me every day, I'm still willing to hear its voice. Can you understand? This is love. Tianmeng Binkan expressed his sincerity word by word. Tianlin wanted to say, this is not called love, this is called dog licking, but looking at Tianmeng Binks's appearance, it is estimated that he has sunk in very deep, and even Tianlin would have difficulty pulling him back. In this case, he can only help Tianmeng Ice Silkworm achieve its wish, and help it become a god together with the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion. Tianlin doesn't think that he can't do what Heo can do in the original work. Tianlin looked at his storage soul guide. There was a very important thing in it. He picked it up when he went to the Ice and Fire Eye to replenish the Holy Spirit energy for the Blue Silver King before he came here. This time it was depend on it. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 378. Tang Heo arrives, and the Ice and Snow Emperor's dispatch. Early the next morning, Tianlin suddenly woke up from meditation. In a place like this, it was impossible for him to enter deep meditation. Any disturbance outside could not be hidden from him. In fact, where he is now is at the foot of Bingji Mountain, which is another entrance to the far north besides the Frost Forest. Tianlin had calculated Tang Heo's walking speed accurately, and waited for him here, in advance. Sure enough, at that moment, the huge mental power he had been spreading scanned Tang Heo. "Rangrong, wake up, it's time for us to go out." Tianlin called Ning Rangrong gently, waking her up from her comfortable sleep. Ning Rangrong opened her beautiful eyes. "Brother Jian, has the person you were waiting for arrived?" "Yes, I have a few more guests to call. Let's go." Tianlin pulled Ning Rangrong out of the cave, and then called out the Holy Spirit bead. The first soul skill, 5 spirits purify evil. A huge holy light soars into the sky. This soul skill is the soul skill of the soul ring formed by Tianmeng Ice Silkworm. Tianlin integrated the spiritual power of Tianmeng Ice Silkworm into this skill. People who are familiar with it will definitely feel it. Its mental fluctuations. Ice Emperor, the golden patterned Ice Silkworm, have come back to seek revenge on you. How dare I show up to see you? And the Snow Emperor, why don't you come to see me, the true Emperor of the far north? The unprecedented million-year-old soul of Douluo Continent? The beast, the god of soul beasts, is now named Tianmeng Bingshu. Tianmeng Bingshu relied on her huge mental power to incorporate her own voice into it and spread it into the distance. Generally, spirit beasts with low cultivation or weak mental strength cannot hear it, but the 3 northern kings must hear it clearly. As for Tang Heo, Tianmeng Iceworm's mental power deliberately avoided him, otherwise he would be scared away if he heard the words million-year soul beast and didn't know the truth. On an ice throne in the far north, a woman with a fairy-like appearance stood up and showed an alluring smile. "Oh, the million-year-old soul beast, Tianmeng Ice Silkworm. I have heard a little about it, but I just heard about it. It's a pity that I was forced to flee the far north by the Ice Emperor before I saw it, and I didn't expect that it would be delivered to my door now. Then let me see today what the million-year-old soul beast is capable of." After saying that, the woman's body turned into snowflakes, flying thousands of miles along the cold wind, towards the direction of Bingji Mountain Point. This person is the head of the three great kings of the Arctic Icefield, the Snow Emperor and the Snow Lady of the Ice Sky. Now he has cultivated for 690,000 years, and is heading towards 700,000 years, but she has always been worried about whether she can pass the 700,000 year mark. If this Cheyenne Meng Ice Silkworm is captured and used as a training cheating device, she will be somewhat sure, otherwise she will have to consider whether she should use it. Special methods to rehabilitate people. Golden. Patterned Ice Silkworm. No, it should be called Cheyenne Meng now, and you are actually still alive. You are indeed the longest lived guy in our far north. In the Ice Valley, a huge ice jade scorpion raised its head. Crisp sounds sounded from all directions, conducting distant soul communication with Cheyenne Meng Ice Silkworm Point. The sound was accompanied by a terrifying sound wave. The snow on the ground near Tianlin and Ningrangrang rose several meters high almost instantly. Like a sudden wave of waves, Tianlin casually pushed away all the ice and snow around him. If he hadn't been so powerful now, he would have been buried by the ice and snow. Ice Emperor, you're not dead yet. Why can't I live? Do you remember what I said back then? If I don't die, one day, I will become your partner. Cheyenne Meng Binx's voice suddenly became very loud. The gentle even sweet voice made Tianlin's skin crawl all over. Cheyenne Meng, you are looking for death. At this moment, the Ice Emperor's crisp voice was suddenly full of murderous intent. The green sky also turned into dark green at this moment, and thick murderous intent fell from the sky. This was the Ice Emperor's super long distance spirit attack point. However, the Cheyenne Meng Ice Silkworm was not afraid of the Ice Emperor in a pure competition of mental power. It smiled slightly, and said calmly and elegantly, "No, I speak from my heart. I have lived for nearly 1,000,000 years, and in my 100 years, for thousands of years, most of the time has been spent in sleep. And deep in my heart, the only thing that has left traces and made my heart beat is you. Ice Emperor, you know why I chose this time? Are you coming back? Because I have predicted your future. Now that your cultivation has reached 390,000 years, it will be difficult for you to pass the 400,000 year mark. When the time comes, you will be unable to break through the next limit. I'm going to disappear in this cold world. So, I'm back. I can't wait any longer. My long life is meaningless to me. I'm coming back, just so that you can live, and that we can truly be together. Together, Cheyenne Meng Bing Silkworm's sincere confession made the Ice Emperor silent for a while, and then the cold voice sounded again. Cheyenne Meng, do you know that my race is a natural enemy to your race? Cheyenne Meng. Bingcon smiled indifferently. Of course I know, but so what? Who says you can't like your natural enemy? Because of this, I like you even more. The Ice Emperor said disdainfully. It's a pity that you don't have the qualifications to like me. However, I'm still very touched that you are willing to send yourself back as food for me to eat. How can I integrate ourselves in this way? What if I can't fulfill your love? You should be able to feel that I'm approaching you. Wait for me. I will be by your side in a quarter of an hour. I will fulfill your love. I will treat you well. I will always chew your body and energy bit by bit. Make them a part of me. Cheyenne Meng. Bingxi seemed to have long been accustomed to the Ice Emperor's words, and said helplessly, "Can't you be gentler? You are always so cold and domineering. No wonder you are still single now. By the way, I have always wanted to ask you, is that joke spread throughout the far north true? Back then, you really fell in love with the Snow Emperor, but my love rival was actually a woman. Cheyenne Meng, I will definitely cut you into pieces." Cheyenne Meng Bing Silkworm's words seemed to touch the Ice Emperor's pain, and her voice instantly became hysterical. The dark green in the sky suddenly turned into deep black. I don't know if it was because of anger or shame. The two most powerful soul beasts in the far north ice field finally went out together. In fact, the Titan Snow Demon originally wanted to come, but not long ago, it showed love to the Snow Emperor, and as a result, all the bones in its body, except the skull, were beaten to pieces by the Snow Emperor. Even though based on its physical strength, it would probably take nearly 1,000 years of rest to recover. Besides, since the two eldest sisters are already moving, what's the point of going there? Apart from getting a beating, they won't be able to grab the Cheyenne Meng Ice Silkworm. Alright, Zai Ocean, be prepared. What we have to face this time is the strongest ice and snow attribute super soul beast on the Douluo Continent. Qianmeng Bingshu warned. Qianlin smiled slightly. Instead of worrying about us, why not mourn for Tang Heo first? He will be in trouble this time. Chapter 379 Qianlin vs Tang Heo. According to Qianmeng Binken's judgment, it would take about a quarter of an hour for the Ice and Snow Emperors to arrive. During this period, Qianlin must always pay attention to Tang Heo and not let him go on a killing spree. Fortunately, he was more cautious. As soon as Tang Heo entered the far north ice field, he encountered a group of soul beasts, and there were tens of thousands of soul beasts among them, which immediately caught his attention. When Qianlin and Ning Rangrang followed their perception and came to Tang Heo's side, he was attacking a group of elephant soul beasts, about 30 of them. Most of them have huge bodies and are covered with ice crystals. Elephants are different from the rhinoceros that Qianlin met in the past. They are social creatures and are powerful. No spirit beast usually dares to provoke them. Unfortunately, what they encountered today was Tang Heo, who was at the Super Douluo level. The strongest among them, a soul beast that was about 50,000 years old, was far from his opponent. They are a group of giant ice elephants. They have powerful bodies and are more likely to give birth to powerful soul bones, but they are also very gentle in nature. Xiaoshan, hurry up and stop Tang Heo, otherwise he will kill all the elephants. Qianmeng Iceworm said anxiously. Tang Heo was caused by it, and he asked Qianlin to help treat his injuries. If the group of soul beasts harmed by this were slaughtered, its sin would be great. And among them there are several baby elephants that are only 10 years old. If they are even scratched by the clear sky hammer, their lives will definitely be lost. Tang Heo raised the clear sky hammer. A black soul ring flashed on the body of the hammer, and the hammer continued to grow in size. Several baby elephants were trembling with fear, and their parents were also very desperate, because they could not compete with the power of this titled Douluo. You evil soul beasts, today I'm going to eliminate harm for the people, Tang Heo said coldly, and then the huge clear sky hammer suddenly slammed down. The fourth soul skill, flowing light immortal killing slash, an equally huge demon sword crossed the air and collided head-on with the clear sky hammer. The two huge forces were bounced away at the same time. Qianlin descended from the sky with Ning Rangrang in his arms and stood in front of the elephants. Jun. Qianlin, why are you here? Tang Heo asked in surprise. Of course it's to take your life. Qianlin said calmly, I promised a friend that I would definitely let you die without a burial place. It's because of Oslo. Jun. Qianlin, don't forget, you once promised not to cause trouble for my father and my son for this matter. Tang Heo said angrily. He hated Qianlin for not keeping his word. Qianlin said disdainfully, Tang Heo, don't underestimate me. I, Jun Qianlin, have never regretted anything I promised. The friend I mentioned is not Oslo, but a spirit beast. Tang Heo, this paragraph you have killed countless soul beasts indiscriminately over time. Do you really think you can go on smoothly forever, soul beast? It's ridiculous that you came to me because of this matter. Jun. Qianlin, look at the 7 soul rings on your body. You yourself were promoted to soul saint by killing soul beasts, right? What right do you have to stop me here? Tang Heo laughed angrily, obviously having forgotten how hysterical he was when his own wife was forced to sacrifice by Wuhan Palace. HMPH, if you hunt and kill a soul beast in order to advance, no matter whether you kill good or evil, we will not care. After all, this is the rule of Douluo Continent. But now, you are acting wantonly. Indiscriminate killing. The Spirit Hall, the 2 empires and the 7 major sects all have regulations that no soul master can kill soul beasts for soul bones, and my brother Jan did nothing wrong in this matter. How could Ning Rangrang see this? Zhu. Qianlin was laughed at by Tang Heo and immediately retorted. Tang Heo's face was extremely ugly when Ning Rangrang said that. Of course he knew this rule, but in order to take revenge on Wuhan Palace, he had to collect more soul bones. He knew clearly that by himself, he was not a member of Wuhan Palace. Opponent, only Tangsun with twin martial spirits has hope of revenge. For this purpose, he will use any means, and in order to ease his conscience, he has been hypnotizing himself. All the soul beasts he hunts are evil soul beasts. Killing them is also to eliminate harm for the people. Over time, after that, he got used to it. To the extent that he deceived himself and others. He was really like the Tang family. The soul beasts that the Tang family wanted to protect, such as Ayan Zhao, were good soul beasts, and those that the Tang family wanted to hunt were bad soul beasts. As expected, they were clearly distinguished. Tang Heo looked around and saw that there were only two people here, Jun Xianlin and Ning Rangrang. Murderous intent arose in his heart, and he must not let anyone know about hunting soul beasts, otherwise he would bring trouble to the Haoshan sect. In this case, he had no choice but to kill the two people in front of him today, and now was a good opportunity. Because of the pills from the Qibao Glazed sect, his injuries had improved a lot. With his current state, he thought that dealing with Xianlin should not be a problem. Jun, Xianlin, Ning Rangrong. Since the two of you have fallen in love with the evil soul beast, then don't blame me for being ruthless and killing harm for the people. Tang Heo was very accustomed to giving out a legitimate reason first. Then he attacked the two of them. The 7th soul skill, Haoshan's incarnation. Tang Heo activated the weapon soul true form as soon as he came up. Although he was confident that his strength was superior to Xianlin, he did not dare to be careless. After all, Xianlin's record was also very brilliant. Come on. The 7th soul skill, the true form of the magic sword. The 9 treasures have names. The first is strength, the second is speed, the third is soul, the fourth is control, the fifth is attack, and the sixth is increase. Xianlin also activated his true form, and at the same time, Ning Rangrang also provided him with a level of support. Lingshan strikes. Tang Heo struck first. He knew how powerful Xianlin's Feng Shui was, so he couldn't give Xianlin a chance to use this move. Otherwise, once the true form of the weapon soul is destroyed, he has no chance of winning. Lingshan's attack is a single point strong attack technique. Such a unique move is what the enemy must defend when attacking. Tang Heo, I'm going to change the name of the world's #1 martial spirit today. You don't have to worry about the situation changing. I don't know how to use it. I will use my strength to defeat you head on. The flowing light killing immortal slash. Facing the clear sky hammer, Xianlin chose the most difficult way to fight, a frontal attack. Tang Heo could not remember how long it had been since someone dared to compete with him head on for strength. Originally, he wanted to laugh at Xianlin's ignorance, but he didn't expect that when the sword and hammer met, the two of them were shaken apart at the same time. It seemed that they were evenly matched, but when he heard a few clicks, his Haoshan hammer actually there were slight cracks. What? Tang Heo was shocked. His clear sky hammer was actually broken in one blow. However, Tang Heo was a Douluo with the title of Clear Sky after all. He was not surprised for long, and continued to charge quickly. Although Xianlin himself said that he would not use Feng Shui shift, he would not easily believe that Xianlin could give up a skill with such a huge advantage. What if he was careless and was tricked by Xianlin? Haoshan, Jiaju, Zenziju, Tang Heo hit the edge of the demon sword with a hammer, and the huge shock almost made Xianlin lose his grip on the demon sword. Next, it's Poziju. Then, Tang Heo used a hammer as a knife, and used a jumping chop technique at Xianlin. This move not only had the fierce power of a blunt weapon, but also seemed to have the ability to cut everything apart like a sharp weapon. This is one of the true secrets of the Clear Sky Hammer, the 9 secrets of the Clear Sky. When Tang Heo used this unique skill, the entire snow mountain shook. It seemed as if a terrible snow disaster had occurred in the far north. The sky was full of wind and snow, and countless soul beasts fled one after another. The fighting aura there was too strong, and the fighting, if the power of any one of the two sides spreads, it can kill the 10,000-year soul beast. Even if the soul beasts in the far north are far stronger than other places, they are not enough to compete with these two people. Chapter 380 Heavenly Sword and Soul Bone Armor beat up Tang Heo. Tang Heo used one move to break Ziju, but the hammer struck like a broadsword, and a long ravine stretched out from the ground. Xianlin jumped up and used the soul bone skill Hurricane Vacuum Slash to block the powerful impact. He understood that the 7 kills sword technique was no longer a match for Haoshan Jiuju, because it was the benchmark for the Luan Cloak Hammer technique. To deal with Haoshin Jiuju, he had to use the 7 kills sword technique point. However, even the 7 kills sword technique is on par with Haoshin Jiuju. If Tianlin wants to completely suppress Tang Heo, he must use the Shushan sword technique point. Tang Heo's giant hammer continued to swing. This time it was the Quan Ziju. When the Haoshin hammer collided with the demon sword, not only did it not bounce off, but it was like glue, tightly sticking to Tianlin's demon sword point. This move is mainly used to seal the opponent's sword skills. When the opponent's weapon is stuck, it will be difficult to use any subtle moves. The only way is to use the mind, to retract the martial spirit first, and then release it again. But at that moment, there is a time difference of about 1 second. Tianlin also understood Tang Heo's plan and simply followed his wish, and took the initiative to take back the magic sword point. Tang Heo smiled coldly when he saw this. Every move of Haoshin's 9 Ju techniques complemented each other, and were used in a coherent manner. Haha, you fell into the trap, Bengziju, the most powerful move among Haoshin's 9 arts. If the opponent's spirit is of poor quality, this move can even damage the opponent's spirit. However, Tianlin's spirit is too strong, so Tang Heo has no choice but to force Tianlin to attack him first. The sword was withdrawn. He was confident that, as long as this Bengzi hit was successful, even with Tianlin's physical strength, he could shatter all his internal organs. But at this moment, a terrifying sword intent rose from Tianlin's body, and Tang Heo seemed to see a huge sword that covered the sky and sun flying out from behind Tianlin. What? Tang Heo was startled, and was forced to retreat continuously by this sword energy. With rich combat experience, he could clearly feel that the power of Tianlin's move was far stronger than Bengziju, or even Daksumi. The hammer is also difficult to resist. You are really underestimated, Tang Heo. Do you think that I have no other means except the sword technique taught to me by my master? Let you try my strongest sword technique now. This move is called Heavenly Sword. The Heavenly Sword is the true supreme skill of the Shushan sect. This is a sword that is transformed into a body, and the human sword is integrated into one, which can control the natural power of heaven and earth. It can be said that the sword energy is vertical and horizontal, and it can form the realm of swordsmanship, integrating with the heaven and earth, and its power is unpredictable. Tianlin's heavenly sword does not need to be wielded with the help of a real sword, but is formed by the natural power of heaven and earth. In the entire far north, endless cold air poured into Tianlin. This frightened the 2 ice and snow emperors who were coming. There is such a huge power ahead. The sword energy condensed by the cold air is used. If it falls, it will be frozen for thousands of miles. The snow emperor said in horror she has never heard of such a terrifying sword technique. Even the King Ju sword god who became a god at that time probably could not create such a move. In fact, Tianlin's move is only in its infancy, and cannot yet unleash the full power of the heavenly sword, but it is enough to deal with Tang Heo. Wait a minute, Xiaoshan, don't kill Tang Heo. He is the gift I left for Bingbing. Tianmeng Bingxi was anxious. It had seen Tianlin practice this trick secretly before. Even if it is just a semi-finished product, Tianlin can use this move to instantly exert the power of almost the 8th soul skill of a 97th level titled Douluo. With Tang Heo's current state, he will definitely not be able to stop it. Sorry, brother Tianmeng, I forgot about the first one, Tianlin said with a smile, and then dispersed his sword energy. He promised to leave Tang Heo to the soul beast to deal with, and he would definitely do it. Seeing that the heavenly sword dispersed, Tang Heo breathed a sigh of relief. It turns out that he is just strong on the outside, but weak on the inside. I will say that it is a miracle that a soul saint can exert the power of a titled Douluo. Without summoning those 2 monsters, he can achieve this with just his sword skills. The level of a super Douluo is even more unimaginable. Tianlin saw his expression and smiled slightly. You seem to feel that you have saved a life. Let me tell you, I just want to leave you to the people who should kill you. I think they will kill you in less than 2 minutes. We've arrived. Let me have some fun for the last few moments. After saying that, Tianlin teleported towards Tang Heo. Tang Heo originally didn't pay attention to Tianlin in this state, but at this time, a ray of light suddenly flashed on Tianlin's body. Suddenly, his speed increased greatly. Before Tang Heo could react, He was already punched in the abdomen. How is it possible? I can't react. Tang Heo roared in disbelief, holding the clear sky hammer and hitting Tianlin on the head point at the beginning. He used such a hammer to directly kill Oslo. Tianlin used the same defensive method as Oslo, covering his head with his hands and crossing to defend. The result this time was completely different from the original point with a ding sound. Tianlin was completely fine, but Tang Heo was bounced away by the huge reaction force, and his body was injured by the shock. He vomited a large mouthful of blood, and the injuries that had been suppressed by the heart protection pill began to recur. Only then did he finally see clearly that Tianlin had put on a set of armor at some point, but because there was no breastplate and left leg armor, it looked a bit uncoordinated. This is soul bone fusion skill, soul bone armor. Tang Heo's eyes widened immediately. Of course he had heard of the legend of soul bone armor, but it contained 6 soul bones in the whole body, and these soul bones were produced from the same soul beast, so there was only a 1000th chance of a miracle happening. In today's world, there is only one force that can hope to achieve, and that is the Wuhan Palace with the 6 soul bones of angels. Unexpectedly, he saw someone from the Qibao glazed sect today. What was even more terrifying was that Tianlin only had 4 soul bones, no torso or left leg. He completely broke the rules. It's a pity that he didn't know that this was supposed to be a miracle only for his son, because his son died under the Tianlin demonic sword, and all the luck of the Son of Luck was sucked away, so that Tianlin could reproduce this miracle. Tang Heo, my soul bone armor's maintenance time is limited, so don't waste it. You will be the first to experience the power of the soul bone armor. Tianlin didn't waste any more words and continued to attack point under the soul bone armor. Tianlin's physical fitness far exceeded that of Tang Heo, a super Douluo. Even without a magic sword, he could resist Tang Heo's Heotian hammer with his physical body alone. Point on the other hand, Tang Heo's bones were almost broken as long as he was punched or kicked by Tianlin. Fortunately, he also had 6 soul bones in his body, otherwise he would have been paralyzed. Haha, it's so interesting. It feels so good to beat people without using martial arts. Tianlin laughed. Wow. It turns out that brother Jian under the soul bone armor is so powerful. Ningrangrang was amazed. It seems that the strength ranking of their 7 treasures glazed sect should be rewritten. Originally, the first place was Chenzin and the second place was Gurang. Now the second place will be changed to Tianlin. After all, in addition to being strong himself, Tianlin can also summon the god of war and mountain god, which is a huge power 3 times that of a super Douluo in a short period of time. Chapter 381 The arrival of the 2 ice and snow emperors. Tianlin beat Tang Heo violently for 2 minutes. It was not until he sensed the approach of 2 extremely powerful auras that he stopped attacking and took back his soul bone armor. Tang Heo, whose face was bruised and swollen, fell to his knees. He didn't know why, but Tianlin spared his hand. Although there was severe pain everywhere in his body, they were actually just skin injuries. As long as there were no internal injuries, his skill will not be affected. Why are you showing mercy to me? Tang Heo asked with difficulty. I've said it before, it's not that I don't want to kill you, but I promised a friend that your life must be left to the soul beast. After Tianlin finished speaking, he looked towards the horizon, and 2 extremely terrifying auras arrived. First, there was an extremely strong snowstorm, and huge clouds covered the entire sky. When all the snowstorms gathered together, they gradually transformed into a human form, with long white hair hanging from the back of the head to the feet, and sky blue eyes, ethereal and transparent, as if he could see through everything in the world. Her slender body was flawless. Although she wore a long white dress without any decoration, it made her look so noble, beautiful and meticulous. She was like a plum blossom in the winter snow, standing out from the crowd, proud of the snow, and defying the frost. So beautiful. Both Tianlin and Ningrangrang couldn't help but exclaimed. Ningrangrang claimed to be a rare beauty, but compared to the one in front of her, she was still a little inferior. Tianlin even felt that in terms of temperament and appearance, this stunning woman was slightly superior to Qian Ringsu and Bibidong, whom he had previously considered the most beautiful. That's the Snow Emperor, the true king of our far north, and a super soul beast with one of the top 5 cultivation levels in the world today. Tianlin ice worm introduced. Little girl and little boy, are you very discerning? You are also very cute. Snow Emperor smiled at the two of them. Although they are spirit beasts, they are also women. The two of them sincerely praised her beauty, which was quite impressive. She is happy point, but she didn't forget about the business. Well, you three, can someone tell me where is the soul beast god Xian Meng Binkan who asked me to come to see him? Just as Tianlin was about to answer, a crisp voice with a hint of anger suddenly came over. Zhu Emperor, Xian Meng is my prey. You can't touch it. Tianlin looked in the direction of the source of the sound. It was a scorpion. He is 1.5 meters long and has two colors on his body. One is the color of ice and the other is green. Both front claws are 1 meter long. The front claws are covered with hexagonal protrusions that look like diamonds. Only the front clip is silvery white with a mirror-like luster. When Tang Heo saw the ice snow girl floating in the sky and the ice jade emperor scorpion exuding murderous aura on the ground, he felt bad. No one told him that there were such terrifying soul beasts in the far north. I originally thought that, as long as I avoided the star forest and the sunset forest, I would be fine. Bing bing. Bing bing is here. Hurry up. Ocean, lend me your body for a moment, please. Xian Meng Binkan immediately begged. Seeing his appearance, Tianlin reluctantly agreed. Okay, let you reminisce with your bing bing first. Suddenly, Tianlin's whole demeanor changed. From a swordsman to a humble guest. Bing bing, my bing bing, you are still so charming. I like your green and white body the most. You are Xian Meng? The Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion was shocked. You have turned into a human. No, I can't not see the soul beast turning into a human. But what on earth is going on? The Snow Emperor also looked at it strangely. No wonder she couldn't find the Xian Meng ice silkworm just now. It turned out to be hiding in a human body. However, with her cultivation, she quickly understood. So that's it. You actually became. He obtained the soul ring of human wisdom and hid his soul in the sea of human spirit. You are worthy of being the Snow Emperor. You really have a burning gaze. No wonder you can be the eldest sister of our far north. Xian Meng Bingshan complimented and looked at the Ice Emperor again. Bing bing, you have to make the decision for me. Just now, this man bullied me and kept hitting me with his big hammer. Look at my little genius who has just reached level 80 and hasn't hunted for a soul ring yet. How could he defeat a super Douluo? I've been thinking about you all the time. Help him persist until now, otherwise you won't be able to see me. Xian Meng Binkan pointed at Tang Heo and immediately filed a complaint, with a look of grievance on his face. Brother, Xian Meng, can you please stop making such a mean expression in my face? I feel bad about it. Tianlin complained. Ning Rang Grang warned herself over and over in her heart. This is not my brother Jian. This is not my brother Jian. Tang Heo felt aggrieved. Look at my red and swollen face. Who beat whom? HMPH. What do human affairs have to do with us? The Ice Emperor said disdainfully. No, Bing Bing, we are fighting this person to save these giant ice elephants. You see, he has obviously reached the 9th level, and he is still hunting soul beasts. My Ocean Gudeo Rachang, of course, cannot tolerate him doing such a thing. Hearing Xian Meng Binks's words, the second Ice and Snow Emperor turned his head and looked at the elephants behind Ningrangrang. He saw that each of them was scarred, with several serious injuries on their bodies. It was obvious that they were all caused by hammers. There are some baby elephants, only 10 years old, hiding under their parents and shivering. You want to hunt soul beasts, and you still have a hammer? What did Snow Emperor think of? A trace of anger flashed across his beautiful face, and he looked at Tang Heo and said, Emperor Xian once sent someone to send a message, saying that there is a titled fighter who uses the hammer spirit. Luo, it turned out to be you who was killing soul beasts for soul bones in the Stardow forest. At this moment, the Snow Emperor's voice became extremely cold. She was originally the king of the far north. With her anger, the surrounding temperature began to drop further. Even as strong as Tianlin Tang Heo, at this moment it felt like my blood was about to freeze. Xian Meng quickly switched back with Tianlin, so that Tianlin could use his ultimate fire to keep himself and Ningrangrang warm. Greedy. Humans, if you were hunting soul beasts just to advance, we kings of soul beasts would have turned a blind eye, because that is a conflict that humans and soul beasts cannot reconcile for the time being. The laws of heaven and earth, but now you are so greedy. Do you really think that our soul beasts are just lowly things for you to humiliate? The Snow Emperor was furious. This seemingly gentle king of the far north is actually not a good person. Lord of Temper, even the Titan Snow Demon King had all his bones broken by her because he coveted her beauty. It was even more impossible for her to let go of Tang Heo today. Okay, so it's you who came to my door on your own initiative, isn't it? You actually dare to attack my soul beast in the far north and seek death. Although Xian Meng is despicable and useless, I can't let you bully me. The Ice Emperor waved to large pliers and looked at Tang Heo fiercely, looking at the two kings of soul beasts in the far north. Tang Heo shed a cold sweat subconsciously. In his opinion, the strongest soul beasts in the world are the Titan Giant Ape and the Azure Bull Python, but that compared with the two soul beasts in front of me, these two guys are not on the same level at all. He realized one thing, that is, he might be really in danger today. Chapter 382 Death of Tang Heo Emperor Sword Emperor Han Xian. Human, don't say I won't give you a chance, just take action. Use the same trick you used to repel Di Xian. Maybe there is still a chance of survival. The Snow Emperor looked at Tang Heo coldly and allowed him to take action first. This is not the benevolence of a woman, but the magnanimity of a king. Even if she wants to kill people, she will convince them to die. I'm very interested in being able to repel even Di Xian. Is Di Xian careless, or is this move really that powerful? The Ice Emperor also seemed to be very curious about the great Sumeru hammer ever since the battle with the evil-eyed tyrant of the Sun and Moon continent. She didn't know how long it had been since she saw Di Xian deflated. Tang Heo knew that he had no way out today, so he stared at Tianlin and said, Jun Tianlin, you once said that you would not use your tricks to restrict me, so keep your word. That's natural. Jun Tianlin, never speak nonsense. Even if you explode, I want to see how big a storm you can make in front of the Snow Emperor. Tianlin promised. Okay, today I will show you the real Haoshan skills. Tang Heo roared, and 9 soul rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 black and 1 red, appeared. Starting from the 5th soul ring, it exploded suddenly, then 6, 7, 8, and even the 100,000-year soul ring were all blown up by Tang Heo. Compared to how he dealt with Di Xian before, he was even more ruthless this time, blowing up all the 10,000-year soul rings and the 100,000-year soul ring in an instant. The clear sky hammer became as huge as a mountain. Big Sumeru hammer. Tang Heo jumped up high and hit the Snow Emperor with a hammer. Compared to the fierce Ice Emperor, the Snow Emperor does look easier to bully. Tianlin wanted to give him a thumbs up. Good choice. There is still a chance of survival if you choose the Ice Emperor, but the Snow Emperor will die. It doesn't have to be so fast. At this time, Tang Heo indeed exploded with the strongest strength under the ultimate Douluo, but the problem is that the Snow Emperor's combat power has completely reached the ultimate Douluo level. Among the soul beasts, except for Emperor Xian, the deep sea demon whale king, and outside of the evil-eye tyrant, she is invincible. Especially fighting in this far north. Even the first 3 might not dare to say that they would be able to defeat her. Emperors. Palm. It's so cold, and there's no snow. The Snow Emperor faced the clear sky hammer with one palm, and used his physical palm to attack the most powerful weapon, the martial spirit. This was an unwise act for any one point, but Xian Meng think inside. Tang Heo, the game is over. Emperor. Sword Emperor wields Emperor Hanshin, which is the Snow Emperor's 3 most powerful skills, none of which are inferior to Haoshan's skills. The gap in cultivation between the two sides was so huge that Tang Heo had no chance of winning. I saw that slender and beautiful single palm holding up the clear sky hammer, which was 1,000 times larger than the Snow Emperor's body. Not only did it not make the Snow Emperor take a step back, but as the cold air spread, the entire clear sky hammer was frozen. The Snow Emperor began to move forward lightly, and even time seemed to be frozen by the cold air, completely still. Tang Heo could clearly see the Snow Emperor's figure, but he could not move at all. Finally, Snow Emperor pressed his palm on Tang Heo's chest. At this moment, Time began to flow again, and Tang Heo's body fell to the ground at a speed that exceeded several times the speed of sound. He clutched his chest, as if he wanted to vomit blood, but he couldn't, because his blood had almost stopped flowing, as if it had all turned into ice. Tang Heo couldn't believe it. The strongest attack he tried with all his strength was of no use at all. Back then, even when he first entered level 90, he could defeat level 95 Kayak Sunji with a great Sumeru hammer, which made him feel that his Heotian title was well deserved. But now, he himself had reached level 95, but he didn't even raise the corners of Snow Emperor's clothes. It seems that it's not that he is too strong, but that Chihiraji back then was too useless. Okay, so strong. He defeated Heotian Douluo with one blow. Is this the Snow Emperor, the strongest soul beast king in the far north? Ning Rangrang was extremely horrified. Ruoqingxin didn't use life-burning skills. It may take some effort to deal with Tang Heo, who is under the hammer of the great Sumeru, so it is impossible to treat it so lightly. The basic strength of this Snow Emperor is even higher than that of Grandpa Jian. In this far north, she is completely invincible. It's really boring. Although your move is very good, with your cultivation level, it cannot be useful to Dishan. It seems that Dishan at that time was not even a little serious. Otherwise, you would have died long ago. Zhu the Emperor looked down at Tang Heo indifferently. Ahem, it is indeed an evil spirit beast. Today I, Tang Heo, have admitted defeat. Tang Heo lay down on the ground. The palm just now had destroyed all the muscles and veins in his body. He had no life left, and could only accept his fate. Ah Yin, I'm sorry, I can't help Xiaozhen anymore, but I believe that our son will one day become the strongest being on the mainland. Sorry, Tang Heo, your son can't reach that level, because he has already gone to hell before you. Tianlin took out the blue silver emperor soul bone from the soul guide and said, "These things, you must be familiar with them." Tang Heo's eyes widened immediately. How could he not be familiar with Yin's soul bone? But the blue silver emperor's leg bone has been absorbed by Tang San. With Tang San's current strength, it is impossible to take it out unless he died. Haha, that's the expression. Tang Heo, do you remember that when I saw Oslo's left leg rushing forward in the palace, I also expressed such pain, anger, and sadness, expression, but all of you asked me to let go of my hatred at that time. Now I ask you, Tang Heo, can you let go? Tianlin asked. He wanted to see if Tang Heo would choose to forgive when faced with the same situation, or to use his last strength to take revenge. Jun. Tianlin. Tang Heo roared and struggled to stand up. He was already on the verge of reaching his limit, but his soul power rose again. He told Tianlin his choice with his actions. Yes, in his eyes, Tang San's life was life, but Oslo's was not. He deserved to be killed, and others could not avenge him for Oslo. Clear. Sky Hammer, mess with the cloak. Tang Heo entered a state of reflection, used his last strength, and ran towards Tianlin with the clear Sky Hammer. At this time, he could no longer use the great Sumeru hammer, so the random cloak hammer technique was his last resort. At this moment, a green light flashed past Tianlin, and a huge pliers penetrated Tang Heo's chest. I have said it before, Tianmeng belongs to this emperor. Even if it is to kill it, I must do it myself. No one else can touch it. The Ice Emperor said coldly. Then he pulled out the pliers. Tang Heo no longer had any means of struggle, and fell down with great reluctance. I'm not willing to give in. I'm not willing to give in. Keeping the word unwillingness in his mouth, Tang Heo did not kill Tianlin, and could only die with regret. Tianmeng's plan was successful. This guy who hunted soul beasts for soul bones eventually died in the hands of the soul beasts. As the kings of soul beasts, the Ice and Snow Emperors also avenged their countless people. Chapter 383. The end of the soul beast, the knot between the two emperors. Tianlin stepped forward and cremated Tang Heo's body with extreme fire, just like he had cremated Tang San. Only a few tinkling sounds were heard, and 6 radiant soul bones fell on the snow. They are all high-level soul bones. The youngest ones are more than 30,000 years old, and the highest ones are close to 80,000 years old. Tang Heo is really rich. Ning Rangrang collected these soul bones excitedly, and owned the 9 treasures glazed pagoda. She immediately identified the value of these soul bones. Each piece was priceless. Now she and Tianlin have 7 soul bones in their bodies. Tang Heo's complete set, plus the 100,000-year-old blue silver emperor's right leg bone. If outsiders find out, many desperados will definitely go crazy. HMPH. I don't know how many soul beasts this guy has slaughtered for these soul bones. Damn it, those trashes of Dishan have allowed him to run rampant for so long. They should have killed him long ago. Cheyenne Meng Bingsi said angrily. Then, the host of Cheyenne Meng Ice Silkworm, it's your business next. Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor slowly walked up to Tianlin and Ningrangrang. Ningrangrang was so frightened that Ningrangrang hurriedly hid behind Tianlin. The strength of the Ice and Snow Emperor really shocked her completely. Tang Heo has been famous for many years and has almost no defeats, but in front of these two people, he has no power to fight back. The Snow Emperor smiled. Little girl, don't be so afraid. We have no intention of attacking you. If it were the original Cheyenne Meng Ice Silkworm, we might catch it and devour it slowly, but since it has been sacrificed to this human being, has no value to us at all. Little boy, let me ask you, was Cheyenne Meng's soul fluctuation deliberately released before, right? To lure the Ice Emperor and I here, and use our power to kill that titled Douluo, right? Snow Emperor is indeed very wise. Yes, that is the fact. In fact, if I want to kill him, I can do it myself, but I promised brother Cheyenne Meng that I must let him die in the hands of a soul beast. Consider it true revenge for the soul beasts he slaughtered. Tianlin replied, HMPH, even if this guy hasn't betrayed his own race, Cheyenne Meng is right about this. It is up to us, the kings of soul beasts, to avenge the soul beasts with our own hands. Only in this way can our people rest in peace. If we use the help of I wouldn't be willing to accept it by human hands. The Ice Emperor nodded in approval. Wow, Bing Bing praised me. Zai Ocean, did you hear that? Bing Bing praised me. In the Sea of Spirit, Cheyenne Meng Bingsi was rolling on the ground in excitement. Okay, brother Cheyenne Meng, now is not the time for you to be crazy. If you have anything to say, just tell them in person. Tianlin did not hand over his body to Cheyenne Meng Ice Worm this time, but used the Holy Spirit bead to the life energy allowed Cheyenne Meng Ice Worm to temporarily leave his body in the form of Soul Point. Cheyenne Meng Bingsi, who transformed into a human form, has long golden hair, is wearing a spotless white robe, has curved eyebrows, and golden eyes. He looks very handsome, but he is a little short, like a young lady. That's brother Cheyenne Meng. I always thought he was a wretched old man. Ningrangrang thought in a daydream. After all, when she thought of this guy's wretched nymphomaniac and his terrifying age, Ningrangrang subconsciously imagined him became an old man. However, even if he transforms into a handsome young man, it is still difficult to change his nymphomaniac nature. Cheyenne Meng Bingken looked at the Ice Emperor and said, Bing Bing, I haven't seen you for so many years. You have become more and more beautiful. Can you also use your incarnation to talk to me? Your body is too oppressive. It reminds me of the scene when I was chased by you. It's really troublesome. The Ice Emperor muttered, and the huge Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion's body gradually transformed into a human form. His delicate face was less arrogant than the adult version of the Snow Emperor, but more cold and charming. There are 4 turquoise magic lines on both sides of her charming fair face. Her long dark green hair is tied into a pair of ponytails and falls behind her. She looks pretty and cute. These ferocious beasts seem to have the ability to transform into humans. Of course, they do not truly become humans like Xiao Wu, but they take on the appearance of humans. In essence, they are still soul beasts, and their combat effectiveness is almost unaffected. Ningrangrang's eyes were open today. Unexpectedly, the seemingly ferocious soul beasts turned out to be handsome men and beautiful women. After they transformed into humans, thinking back to Xiao Wu back then, at least those long legs made her feel ashamed. Okay, let's talk about it now. Since you have sacrificed, I have no interest in you anymore. Now get out of here. The Ice Emperor said coldly. She was actually very unhappy that Cheyenne Meng Bingshan, who was supposed to be her doglicker all along, was now with someone else. Cheyenne Meng, I think you deliberately brought that title Douluo to us. You probably didn't want us to kill him. In other words, killing him was just a matter of course. You came back specifically for us, right? The Snow Emperor is much wiser than the Ice Emperor. Although she doesn't know what Xianmeng wants to do, she at least guesses that its target is the two of them. Of course I came back to save you. Xianmeng Bingxi said directly. The Ice Emperor sneered. Haha, save us? Are you kidding us? In this far north, even Emperor Xian himself can't do anything to us. What danger will we be in? Even if there is a strong enemy that we can't defeat, what's the use of this waste? Yes, in this world, there are very few people who can fight against you, but apart from your enemies, there is another one who can kill you, and that is the deadline every 100,000 years. Snow Emperor, you are now 90,000 years. Ice Emperor, you are also 390,000 years old, and your next deadline is not far away. Ask yourselves, what is the probability of passing that deadline? Xianmeng Bingchen asked with a serious expression point, as if they were stabbed in a sore spot. Both the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor frowned. The Soul Beast's deadline was becoming more and more difficult each time. The Ice Emperor believes that the chance of passing the 400,000 year limit is less than 30%, and the Snow Emperor's 700,000 years is even less than 1 level. For the Snow Emperor, facing the 700,000 year catastrophe is almost the same as fighting with other gods were fighting, and she had no chance of winning points so far. There are only a few soul beasts that have successfully passed the 700,000 year limit in the past million years. Except for the Xianmeng Ice Silkworm who lay down inexplicably, there is only the deep sea demon Whale King in the sea, and on the mainland there are Emperor Xian and Evil Eye Tyrant Lord. They are all super soul beasts with extremely powerful bodies, and Soul Snow Emperor believed that her ultimate ice would not lose to them in a battle, but in terms of physical strength alone, she was really inferior to them. Even Snow Emperor had already thought that if her end was approaching, and her strength did not make any qualitative leap, she would use special methods to transform herself into a human being, and rebuild herself to avoid the next catastrophe. In the original work, she did this. It's a pity that she was captured as a soul beast embryo, and was almost made into a second martial soul. Chapter 384 Xianmeng's Persuasion God Creation Plan. Seeing the expressions of the two emperors, Xianmeng Bingbing also knew that it had hit their sore spot, but it still continued without mercy. You also know how terrifying the end is for us. Bingbing, even if you are in my heart, I'm just a waste, but I'm also an old waste who has lived long enough. There are almost no soul beasts in this world who have lived longer than me. When the million-year divine tribulation came, I decisively sacrificed myself. I gave it to Ocean because I didn't want to die. I believe you and Snow Emperor are the same. I can feel it because your deadline is about to come again. So you are all very anxious, both of you. Neither you nor I want to die. We have lived for such a long time. How can we be willing to become a pile of dust? So I thought of the best way. Xianmeng Ice Silkworm's words finally aroused the interest of Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion and Ice Sky Snow Girl. They almost subconsciously asked, what method? Xianmeng Bingxi said in a deep voice, God-making plan, creating a god. Ice Emperor was stunned, and suddenly became more curious. What kind of god, dear Bingbing and respected Snow Emperor? Let me ask you, which race has the most potential on our continent? Xianmeng Bingshu asked. The Ice Emperor has been brought into the rhythm of Xianmeng Iceworm's words, and he is subconsciously thinking along its lines. Snow Emperor said bluntly, it's a human being. Xianmeng Bingshan nodded vigorously. Yes, they are human beings. Although there are naturally powerful beings like you two among us soul beasts, there is nothing we can do. The god realm does not welcome us soul beasts. As long as we cannot become gods, lifespan is limited after all. However, a human with excellent talent, after just a few decades of cultivation, can be compared in strength with your clansmen who have cultivated for tens of thousands of years, or even hundreds of thousands of years. This why? It's because of the difference in potential. Human beings have fragile bodies and short lifespans, but their potential is favored by God, and is incomparable to us. This is the advantage of human beings, and what we insufficient. The most important thing is that only humans have the opportunity to reach the highest realm. Do you still remember the two divine lights of gold and blue gold that appeared back then that illuminated the continent and the sea? Ice Emperor said, the color of the sky and the earth changed, and he became a god in an instant. The angel god and the sea god are indeed amazing beings, Xian Mengbing Silkworm said. Exactly. The angel god and the sea god were originally humans, and their power has far surpassed the strongest among our soul beasts, the Emperor Xian, the Ice Emperor, and the Snow Emperor. You must know, only God's life is endless. The Ice Emperor and the Snow Emperor looked at each other and fell silent. They had to admit that Xian Mengbingxi was right. Seeing this, Xian Mengbingshan struck while the iron was hot. When our soul beasts reach 100,000 years of cultivation, we all have a chance to choose to recultivate as humans. However, there are very few who really have the courage to recultivate as humans. Because it's impossible to be sure whether one can practice and achieve breakthroughs in just 100 years. Snow Emperor, this was originally your idea, wasn't it? I can tell you that the possibility is extremely slim. The transformed soul beast must be in contact with humans to cultivate quickly. Let's not say whether you will live in the human world. At that time, it was discovered that you can make soul rings and soul bones. Even if you practice smoothly, your cultivation speed will at most reach a level comparable to that of humans with innate soul power. However, from ancient times to the present, there are so many soul masters with innate soul power. Speaking of other times, in the past 100 years, there are 20 people in the records of Tianlin's Qibao glazed sect. However, the vast majority of them can only live as titled Douluo for hundreds of years. Do you think you can become a god so smoothly? How? Do you know my plan? Snow Emperor was shocked. She had never told anyone this idea. Tianlin on the side smiled slightly. Of course, Tianlin, who had read the original work, told Xian Mengbingkan that, in order to persuade these two emperors, he must first understand them well. Xian Mengbingkan did not answer her, but continued, because I know the disadvantages of human transformation, so I'm not willing to try that illusory method, and I do not want to die in the process of reconstruction. I settle for the next best thing. I chose another way. That is to create a god. Create a god. Although I'm not a god, I can have endless life with this god, and become a part of the god. That is, the companion beast. So, you chose this human being. Snow Emperor looked at Tianlin, as if he wanted to see him through, but when her eyes met Tianlin's, the depth in Tianlin's eyes seemed to make her fall in. You can't see through it. This young man's potential and destiny are so strong that it's immeasurable. Xian Meng, I have to admit that you made a right choice, Xian Meng. Binkan said proudly. Haha, that's right. My vision is definitely proportional to my cultivation. Xiaoshan, lift your bangs and let Ice Emperor and Snow Emperor see where our confidence lies. Okay. Tianlin pushed aside the bangs covering his forehead, and the Shura sword seal was displayed in front of the two emperors. Ice Emperor, Snow Emperor, this is the seal of the Shura god examination. I have started the 9 examinations of the Shura god. As long as once everything is completed, I will be the new god king level god in the god realm. God Shura. What? God Shura? The two emperors said in horror. After living for so many years, they had also heard of him, one of the 5 great god kings in the god realm, the most powerful god in charge of punishment, killing and judgment. I finally figured out why you came to us. You hope that we will give our power to this boy, and then, like you will become this boy's companion beast in the future, right? After hearing this, the Snow Emperor said, if you still can't guess Xian Meng Iceworm's intention, your life will be in vain after so many years. And to be honest, she was really tempted. Compared with the unlikely catastrophe and the illusory human transformation, directly relying on a top genius who had already started the divine test, the chance of success was undoubtedly much greater. Almost. But you too. I hope the person you give power to is not me, but my wife, Ningrangran. Tianlin pulled Ningrangran forward and said. Hearing this, both the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor frowned, and the Snow Emperor said, this girl's qualifications are pretty good among humans, but she hasn't yet reached the standard to become a god, and she is only an auxiliary soul master. Young man, even if we want to place a bet, we will choose someone worthy of the bet. If it were you, I can agree to it now, but for this girl, please forgive me for not being able to accept it. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. we cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 385 Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor's Choice. Ningrangrang's determination. Hearing Snow Emperor's decisive refusal, Ningrangrang lowered her head sadly. She really couldn't stand the eyes of these two kings of the far north. Zoo. Emperor, you only see that Rangrang is an auxiliary soul master, but in fact, Rangrang has a greater chance of achieving the status of a god than me, and it is safer. You can test Rangrang's body and soul first. Tianlin confident said. Seeing his appearance, the Snow Emperor floated in front of Ningrangrang doubtfully. Little girl, raise your hand and show it to me. Yes, senior. Ningrangrang obediently stretched out her right hand. The Snow Emperor held it gently, and a cold air started from his palm and explored Ningrangrang's whole body. However, Ningrangrang not only did not feel the cold, but instead felt an icy cold comfort. Hey, this girl, her innate soul power is so high that it has surpassed the human standard of full soul power, and her physical fitness and soul strength are not like an auxiliary soul master at all. The Snow Emperor said in surprise. Snow Emperor, I once prepared 2 peerless immortal products for Rangrang. The Heaven Building Pill refined with Qibao Tulip and the Crystal Immortal Spirit Pill refined with Crystal Blood Dragon Ginseng have already confirmed Rangrang's qualifications. She has been promoted to the point where she can be called a peerless genius. What she lacks now is just a martial spirit for fighting. As long as she gets it, she will have the qualifications of a first level god in an instant. Tianlin explained. Snow Emperor nodded. I see, but why do you say that she has a higher chance of becoming a god than you? In my opinion, her qualifications are still not as good as yours. That's because being a first level god is just a better future that I have prepared for Rangrang, but in fact, she has the next best thing. Her martial spirit is the 9 treasure glazed pagoda, the most powerful auxiliary system. Don't I forgot, in addition to the first level gods, there are also many second level gods who are main and auxiliary in the god realm, such as the 9-colored goddess. If the second level gods are still auxiliary gods, the test will not be difficult. I can guarantee that Rangrang will succeed. The probability is 100%, and the Shura Divine examination I participated in is accompanied by many dangers and there is a possibility of failure. Rangrang is guaranteed to advance to the first level at the second level, but I will die if I fail. Therefore, which one do you think is safer? Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor looked at each other, and they agreed with Tianlin's words. Yes, the test for the second level god is 100 times easier than the test for the god king level, although the companion beast of becoming a second level god will be much weaker than the companion beast of the god king. But you can also get permanent life, and you no longer have to worry about the 100,000 year catastrophe of the soul beast. So, you said that what this girl lacks now is a martial spirit for fighting. How are you going to get it? Snow Emperor and I don't have such means. Ice Emperor questioned. Brother, Tianming and I are also prepared for this method, which is the soul beast embryo. As long as one of the two turns into a soul beast embryo, Rangrang can absorb it, and then use brother Tianming's million-year mental power and my vitality to maximize with a strong holy spirit field. The chance of successfully absorbing the embryo into a martial spirit will be very high, and I can guarantee that the two souls will never be harmed. Tianlin said, opened the storage soul guide, and took out a lotus made of ice. This is a 10,000 year ice crystal lotus. It comes from the 2 eyes of ice and fire. It matches the attributes of the 2. As long as it is transformed during the transformation process, this lotus protects the soul, and if you use the 100,000-year-old snow lotus in your hand, Snow Emperor, as a guide, then there will be no danger in the transformation and absorption. As for cultivation, I have a soul skill that can increase your cultivation for 10,000 years, reaching the level of 700,000 or 400,000 years required for transformation. You are really well prepared. Even I know that I have a 100,000 year snow lotus in my hand. That's why you and Tianming called me and Ice Emperor our best friends, to reassure us. Otherwise, if there is only one person, we will definitely not agree to turn into soul beast embryos in front of you, because if no one protects them, the soul beast embryos will be like newborn babies, without any power. The Snow Emperor smiled bitterly, and she found that Tianlin had rejected all the things she wanted. The roads are blocked point, because she was really moved by what was said. Instead of living in fear, it would be better to take a gamble like this. Seeing Snow Emperor's expression, Ice Emperor said anxiously, Zoo Emperor, are you ready to agree? Snow Emperor nodded, yes. Anyway, I originally had the plan to transform into a human being and rebuild my body. Now there is a more reliable way. I don't want to give up. I'm willing to transform into this girl's martial spirit. Ice Emperor, your future is determined by you. Decide for yourself. If you are willing, you can work with me to help this girl. If you are not willing, I suggest you become a wisdom soul ring for that boy like Tianlin. It seems that it is time for him to advance. Otherwise, I'm very worried that if you continue, you will definitely die in a catastrophe of 400,000 years. Ice Emperor thought about it for a while and said firmly, Zoo Emperor, I'm with you. I don't want to live with this annoying guy like Tianlin. Hearing the Ice Emperor's words, Tianlin Bing Silkworm looked sad. Tianlin originally wanted to comfort him, but unexpectedly it recovered at a faster speed. Who is Tianlin Bing Silkworm? He is the most infatuated man who has been chased by Bing Bing for thousands of years, and has not changed his mind. How could he be ruined by the Ice Emperor's words? Moreover, as long as the Ice Emperor agrees to help Ning Rangrong, then they will live together day and night for countless millions of years in the God realm. So why bother living apart for decades in the human world? Okay, brother Tianlin, I underestimated you. You are indeed the best licking dog in the soul beast world. Tianlin complained silently. The two emperors came to Ning Rangrong, and the Snow Emperor asked, little girl, your qualifications have been recognized by me, but do you have the confidence to embark on the path of God? Ning Rangrong said immediately, I do, and I would like to ask the two seniors to give me a chance. I have confidence and determination. I want to be Brother Giant's help. However, there is one thing I don't want to deceive the two seniors. Brother Giant said that my achievement is to maintain the second level god and rush to the first level god. This sentence is wrong, because if Brother Giant fails in the assessment, even if I successfully inherit, gods don't live alone, so my chance of success is exactly the same as Brother Giant's or even a little lower. Please forgive me, to seniors. Rangrong. Tianlin was a little helpless. He finally persuaded the two emperors. Isn't Ning Rangrong trying to undermine him at this time? But when the Snow Emperor heard Ning Rangrong's words, not only was he not angry, but he even appreciated it. Okay, this sentence allows me to truly see your determination. If you don't succeed, you will be a benevolent person. Only in this way can you be worthy of being my Snow Emperor, the god that the Emperor will serve in the future. Little girl, I will try my best to suppress my cultivation and turn it into an embryo, but even so, when absorbed, your body will still taste pain comparable to absolute zero. The power of Tianlin in the boy is only an auxiliary after all. The biggest factor in your success is yourself. Chapter 386 Successful Fusion, the second realm of the Holy Spirit realm. The Snow Emperor floated in mid-air and took out the 10,000-year ice crystal lotus gifted by Tianlin and the 100,000-year snow lotus he prepared. Once a ferocious beast is more than 200,000 years old, it is basically impossible to transform into a human being and rebuild it. However, there are exceptions to everything. Snow Emperor thought of a remedy. She found a plant growing in the far north, with a cultivation level of 100,000 years. But no intelligent 100,000-year-old snow lotus was born. Then he would place all his body and soul on the snow lotus, and use the snow lotus's cultivation of exactly 100,000 years, to transform and be reborn. However, this is still extremely dangerous, because a mere 100,000-year-old snow lotus cannot withstand the snow. The Emperor has a power of up to 700,000 years, but Snow Emperor has no other choice. She has no confidence to survive the 700,000-year catastrophe that will come in the near future. Rather than die, she can only choose to take a gamble. Now she is more relieved. Although the 10,000-year ice crystal lotus sent by Tianlin is far inferior to the 100,000-year snow lotus in terms of cultivation, the quality of the ice crystal lotus itself is higher than that of the snow lotus, so overall it is not bad at all, and can effectively share the burden. The cultivation of the ice and snow girl point coupled with Tianlin's Holy Spirit domain assistance, the transformation efficiency is over 90%. The 5th soul skill, Phantom Water and Thunder. At this time, Tianlin used the 5th soul skill of the magic sword to forcibly upgrade the Snow Emperor, who was originally 690,000 years old, to 700,000 years old. The soul beast only had such an integer number of years before it could choose whether to transform. Tianlin was fully prepared for this plan. Emperor Zhu smiled slightly at Tianlin, obviously appreciating his thoughtfulness. The endless cold air first began to spread from the Snow Emperor's body and then was sucked back bit by bit by the Snow Emperor. She was sealing the cold air in her body while transforming, so that Ningrang could have a higher success rate when absorbing it later. When the Snow Emperor integrated her body and soul into the Ice Crystal Lotus and Snow Lotus, her originally plump body gradually shrank. Eventually, it turned into a round ice surface like a placenta, which was the Soul Beast embryo point. If no one touches her, the Snow Emperor will truly turn into a human after a while. The Ice Emperor hurriedly stepped forward to catch the Snow Emperor's embryo. She felt the Snow Emperor's body and soul, and found that they were very healthy, which made her sigh in relief. Transforming a soul beast into a human is quite dangerous, but fortunately this time there was no surprise or danger, and the success was very smooth. The Ice Emperor came to Ningrang holding the Snow Emperor's embryo. Little girl, I will now teach you how to absorb the embryo. Remember, this process will be extremely painful. I will use the cold air to reduce your pain. No matter what, you must ensure that your soul power is always running, otherwise, all your efforts will be wasted, and not only you will die, but Snow Emperor will have no way to survive. Since she is willing to believe in you and take a gamble on you, you should not let her down. Don't worry, Ice Emperor. With my Holy Spirit realm and brother Xian Meng's millions of years of spiritual cultivation, I believe Ningrang can endure it. Of course Tianlin also felt sorry for the pain Ningrang would endure, but love is love, and in order to become stronger, sometimes it is necessary to suffer a little. Don't worry, for the sake of Qibao Glazed Sect and brother Jian, no matter how painful it is, I will definitely hold on. Ningrang said firmly. She was mentally prepared. Good things don't take long. Ningrang sat cross-legged and followed the Ice Emperor's method to gradually absorb the Snow Emperor's soul beast embryo into his body. Xian Meng, Ice Worm and Tianlin moved at the same time. Millions of years of spiritual cultivation protected the souls of Snow Emperor and Ningrang. The Holy Spirit realm made Ningrang's body and soul power recovery ability the strongest. Even so, Ningrang still let out a shrill scream. Most of the Snow Emperor's cold energy had been restrained, but the power of the ultimate ice was still astonishing. The remaining cold air seemed to turn into extremely sharp ice picks, constantly cutting every inch of Ningrang's skin. Her face turned blue, as if she was in an ice hell. At this time, the Ice Emperor pierced the sharp needle of his scorpion tail into Ningrang's back, controlling the cold air to flow towards Ningrang's pain nerves. This would temporarily make her lose her sense of pain and make her feel much better. Although this was only a drop in the bucket, the Ice Emperor could feel through the reaction of Ningrang's body that this little human's body was actually very tough, with very few impurities in the body. Although the sea of spirit fluctuated violently, it did not collapse at all. A trace of envy emerged in the Ice Emperor's heart. The talent and potential of human beings were indeed unmatched by any soul beast of noble blood. Ningrang, hold on, this is your moment of transformation. Brother Jian will also work hard. Tianlin encouraged while stimulating the power of his Holy Spirit domain to the maximum. This was also extremely draining on his own soul and mental power. A full 6 hours later, Tianlin's power had bottomed out, but Ningrang was still gritting his teeth and persisting. The difficulty of directly absorbing the soul beast embryo and turning it into a martial spirit was indeed incomparable to absorbing a soul ring. It was much more difficult point after this time. Ningrangrang will definitely grow greatly not only in terms of strength, but also in terms of character. Ziotian, weaken the power of your Holy Spirit realm, otherwise you won't be able to hold on even if you don't mention Ningrangrang. Qian Mengbinken said anxiously, no, as soon as the Holy Spirit realm is withdrawn, Rangrang will be in danger of being torn apart. I promised to protect her, brother Qian Meng. When have I, Jun Tianlin, ever broken my promise? Tianlin insisted. To good kids, Qian Meng, you really made the right choice. Ice Emperor nodded appreciatively at Tianlin. Both of these kids have good intentions. It seems that she has to make plans early. Should he continue to dominate the far north and spend his last days, or should he seize this opportunity and become the companion beast of the two gods finally? The Ice Emperor sighed. Forget it, the Snow Emperor is gone. In fact, I have no choice at all. At this moment, the Holy Spirit realm suddenly changed. Waves of golden light circulated around the realm. It was clearly a land of ice and snow, but green grass grew on the ground. This is the Holy Spirit realm that was opened when Ziotian absorbed my million-year soul ring. Qian Mengbinken said in surprise. Tianlin had only opened this realm once with the help of Nua's descendants, but he achieved it by relying on his own strength and completely mastered this field. The second level of the Holy Spirit realm, endless life. Tianlin shouted, and endless vitality surged towards Ningrangrang point at this time. All the coldness on Ningrangrang's body was restrained, and behind her, the shadow of a huge snow girl gradually appeared. Successful. Ice Emperor said excitedly, then let's strike, while the iron is hot. The Ice Emperor suddenly opened the sacrifice barrier, and she finally made the decision to become Ningrangrang's wisdom soul ring just like Qian Meng pointed. Just so happened that the martial soul that Snow Emperor transformed into was not very stable yet. She had the same attributes as Snow Emperor. With the help of her power, she could better help Ningrangrang stabilize her new martial soul point. This was the time when Ningrangrang's mind was at its most determined. Even the 700,000-year-old martial soul had been absorbed by her. What did a mere 390,000-year-old soul ring mean when it was sacrificed? It's a pity that Tianlin no longer has the extra power to improve the Ice Emperor. Otherwise the 400,000-year-old spirit ring would have been stronger when the Snow Emperor's martial soul was successfully fused. He was exhausted and fainted on the snow. Chapter 387 Ice and Snow Girl. Ningrangrang's powerful second martial spirit. Opening his eyes in the haze, Tianlin saw still white snow, but it was in a cave. In a place like the far north. Even though the cave was full of snow, for some reason, he didn't have any soul power at all now. Tianlin couldn't lift it up, but he didn't feel cold at all. Brother Jian, you finally woke up. Ningrangrang's joyful voice sounded in Tianlin's ears. Tianlin slowly got up and said, Rangrang, how many days have I been in coma? It's been 7 days. Sister Zunu and Sister Bing said that in order to help me, you forcibly improved your field, which caused excessive mental consumption. Thank God you have a million-year skull to protect your body. Otherwise, they said that, if it was someone else, it might be forever. I can't wake up. Ningrangrang was crying in her speech, and you can imagine how worried she was these days. Snow Emperor, Ice Emperor. Tianlin thought of something. By the way, Rangrang, you finally succeeded, right? Do you feel bad about anything now? Rangrang was very moved when she saw Tianlin thinking of herself first. When he woke up, she comforted her. Brother Jian, don't worry, I'm fine. Look, Rangrang stood up and released his second martial spirit. The Ice and Snow Girl. The original Ningrangrang wore a green dress, brown hair and green eyes, like emeralds, but now she has white hair and blue eyes. Her dress is also covered with blue ice crystals, and her whole body is floating in the air. If the original Ningrangrang was full of elegant beauty, then now she is cold and charming, even more charming than before. At the same time, 2 circles of red soul rings revolved around the Snow Maiden's martial soul. The first soul ring came from the Ice Sky Snow Maiden, and was 700,000 years old. The second soul ring was from the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion, and was 390,000 years old. Ever Since Ning Rangrang activated her martial spirit, all the cold air around her rushed towards her. Tianlin now understood why it was so warm here. It turned out that Ning Rangrang could freely control the cold air in a small area. It's really a step to the top. Now in terms of qualifications, except for Tianlin, not even Kan Ringsu, or even the dead original protagonist Tang San, may not be able to compare with her. Brother Jian, what do you think? Is Rangrang very beautiful now? Ning Rangrang threw herself into Tianlin's arms with an expression begging for praise. With such a cold face, but doing such a coquettish and cute behavior, the contrast made her charm increase exponentially, almost making Tianlin lose control. Ahem. You two, now is not the time to be intimate. At this moment, two women's voices sounded, and two behind-the-scenes spirits appeared behind Ning Rangrang. It was the Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor. According to Xian Meng Iceworm, as expected, they all became wisdom soul rings according to the plan, and now they are living together in Ning Rangrang's spiritual sea, which makes Xian Meng Bingshan envious, because the ice crystal lotus protects the soul. The Snow Emperor did not become a Lalita like in the original work, but remained the same cold and charming lady. In the past few days, since Tianlin was in coma, she had learned everything about their past through Ning Rangrang, and both she and Ice Emperor had a good impression of these two children. Brother Xiaoshan, Rangrang protected you for 7 days, and you encountered danger during this period. What you have to do now is to recover your soul power as soon as possible, so that you can protect her in this far north. I heard Rangrang say, you want to find the fire in the ice, right? That place is no joke, and you can't waste your time. Snow Emperor said, danger. Rangrang, are you injured? Tianlin asked with concern. This guy king didn't hear anything else, but he just heard the sentence Rangrang is in danger. The Ice Emperor shook his head and complained. No wonder he can be friends with Xian Meng Binkan, they have the same virtue. No, Sister Snow Emperor is exaggerating. It's not really dangerous. When I was hiding here, I met a Titan snow demon that was more than 60,000 years old. I made it into a soul ring. It was scary to death. Fortunately, it's not the Titan Snow Demon King, otherwise I wouldn't be able to defeat it. Ning Rangrang said with lingering fear. You made a soul ring by accident? Rangrang, you single-handedly killed the 60,000-year-old Titan Snow Demon. No, how many levels are you at? Can the 9 treasure glazed tile tower absorb the 7th ring? Tianlin was stunned for a moment. The Xiangsu girl's martial spirit only has 2 rings, so Ning Rangrang must have put the Titan Snow Demon spirit ring on the 9 treasure glazed pagoda. I'm already at level 73. I didn't expect that my 2 sisters would add so much soul power to me. In addition to 2 super soul rings, they also provided me with soul bones. Sister Zunu's is the trunk bone, while Bing's sister is the torso bone. Sister D's is the right arm bone. Ning Rangrang explained. Xiaoshan, what's so confusing about this? Oslo can break through with just a few 10,000-year soul bones and a 100,000-year soul ring. Not to mention Rangrang, she can break through with just a torso bone of the Ice and Snow Girl. Comparable to Oslo. Xian Meng Bingshu said matter-of-factly. The 2 kings of the far north sacrificed together. If Ning Rangrang couldn't even be promoted to the 10th level, it would be to lower price. Tianlin nodded. Xian Meng Binkan was right. It should be to this extent. What surprised Tianlin was Ning Rangrang's combat ability. She had just obtained the 2nd martial spirit, and could actually kill a 60,000-year-old spirit beast alone. In fact, although the Ice and Snow Maiden's martial spirit doesn't have many soul rings, Ning Rangrang has a lot of skills for fighting. 2 ferocious beast soul rings and 2 ferocious beast soul bones provided her with 8 combat moves in one breath. Ning Rangrang explained his abilities to Tianlin bit by bit. Among them, the 2 soul skills provided by the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion's right arm bone were the Ice Emperor's powerful physical attack skill Ice Emperor's AO and the indestructible physical defense skill. Ice King body protection. The soul rings are domain-like soul skills. The domain of Eternal Frozen, which can freeze thousands of miles in an instant, and the Ice Emperor's Wrath, the Ice Emperor's strongest trick, with super freezing ability. The Ice Sky Snow Girl's soul bone skill is Emperor Hanshan Zuu Yao Yang, a domain-like soul skill similar to the domain of Eternal Freezing. The two domains can be integrated to exert earth-shattering power. There is also an auxiliary soul skill, ice and snow, which can change the weather and rain down endless ice and snow. After all, only in such an environment can the Ice and Snow Maiden spirit exert its full combat effectiveness. The soul ring skills are Emperor Palm Dahan Wuxu and Emperor Sword Bingji Washiang. They are two super powerful attack soul skills. Ning Rangrong, who obtained the Ice and Snow Girl's martial spirit, soul rings and soul bones, used her famous stunts. Emperor Hanshin, the Emperor's sword master, completely inherited it. This time in the far north, their gains were really great. Not only did they defeat Tang Heo and collect all 6 soul bones from his body, Ning Rangrong also completely transformed, and the 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda obtained the 6th and 7th soul rings. The true form of the martial spirit was activated, and the Ice and Snow Girl martial spirit was even more powerful, almost as strong as the god level martial spirit. Judging from this situation, Ning Rangrong should be recognized by Poseidon now. Tianlin directly opened the Soul Guide and took out the Vast Sea Universe cover. Chapter 388, the 5th test of Shura God. Rangrong, do as I say, and slowly introduce your spiritual power into the vast sea of universe. Tianlin said seriously. Now is the key. Tianlin has been working hard for so long, hoping that Ning Rangrong can break the limit of only the 2nd level god in the original work, and aspire to the position of 1st level god. Ning Rangrong took the triangular cover, and according to Tianlin, he first opened the blue spirit saint eyes, to let his mental power reach its strongest level, and then slowly input it into the cover. She has always trusted Tianlin 100%. The Vast Sea Universe shield, which received the input of spiritual power, seemed to be alive, and stabbed towards Ning Rangrong's forehead. The sharp tip made a small cut on her forehead. In an instant, blood flowed, and the Vast Sea Universe cover turned around, and the whole body was flat against the wound on Ning Rangrong's forehead, as if it was spiritual, and Ning Rangrong's blood was continuously injected into it, and the original blue halo. The fluctuation gradually turned red. Not long after, a faint blue light floated out from the Vast Sea Universe cover, and condensed into a very faded shadow. A plain and old voice sounded, haha, not bad, not bad. I don't know how long it took, but I finally found it. A physique that can withstand the power of the vast sea, and the mental strength, physical fitness, and martial soul attributes are all very suitable. The blue light flashed, and re-entered the triangle of the Vast Sea Universe cover, and the halo on the triangle suddenly converged, separated from the wound on Ning Rangrong's forehead, and fell into her palm. At this time, the triangle had returned to blue, except for a slight flash of red light at the core. Tianlin quickly stepped forward, and used the power of the blue silver Emperor's soul bone, to heal the wound on Ning Rangrong's forehead. For a girl, whether she can inherit the divine throne is secondary. There is an additional wound on such a beautiful face. The blow may be even greater. That was the shadow of a god just now, and it was also the legendary 1st level god, the Poseidon. The Snow Emperor and the Ice Emperor were extremely happy. They clearly heard what the Poseidon said just now, and the meaning of the words was very clear. Now Ning Rangrong already have the capital to inherit the position of Poseidon. They made matching bets this time. Tianlin also nodded with satisfaction. After so long of hard work, it was finally in vain. Moreover, with the Vast Sea Universe shield, Ning Rangrong's future safety was also guaranteed. The two major skills of the Vast Sea Body Protector and Vast Sea Concentration Shield in this artifact were really useful. It's a life-saving skill. Rangrong, from now on, this Vast Sea Universe cover will belong to you. You must make good use of its power. Tianlin took Ning Rangrong's hand, and said with a smile. Ning Rangrong nodded seriously. Well, don't worry, Brother Jian, I will not disappoint your expectations. She knew very well how hard Tianlin worked to help her transform. If she didn't work hard, she would be really shameless at this moment. The Shura sword seal on Tianlin's forehead flashed with light. The 4th test of God Shura. Reactivate the heart of Poseidon. Use perseverance and wisdom to create a successor to Poseidon. Exceed the limit and reward Shura God affinity by 15%, which is currently 40%. Tianlin has also completed the 4th test of Shura God. However, it is said that it has exceeded the limit. There is still only affinity, and no other rewards. At least he will be given a god-given soul ring. He is already level 80. He lacks soul rings. To advance point Tianlin side, God Shuro was still as stingy as ever. Forget it. Let's check what the next test is first. Tianlin called out his 5th divine test card. The 5th test of Shuro God. To advance to the title of Douluo, the time limit is 3 years. You want me to be promoted to the title within 3 years? Tianlin was stunned. God Shuro gave such an assessment, obviously hoping that Tianlin would accelerate his growth point generally. There is some connection between the upper and lower assessments of the divine position assessment. For example, when he hunted the dark gold Terrorclaw bear, he used the heart of Poseidon, so he owed Poseidon a favor, which he had to repay in the subsequent assessment point at this time. God Shuro is so eager for Tianlin to improve his strength. It seems that there are some tasks to be assigned to him in the subsequent assessment point. Tianlin has just reached level 80. This task is almost impossible for others to complete. The difficulty of training from level 80 to level 90 is quite terrifying even for those within 8 soul power without more than 10 or 20 years. There would be no breakthrough point. But Tianlin is different. Not to mention that his meditation method is far more advanced than those in Douluo Continent. He also has the advanced Holy Spirit domain. After his second life, this domain will increase the speed of Tianlin's cultivation now. At least 50% point. Moreover, the slow period of his ultimate attributes has passed, and he is now in the rapid period of cultivation. His 3 years are comparable to the 15 years of an ordinary soul master with full innate soul power. He has absolute confidence to complete it. The top priority now is to get the 8th soul ring first, and enter the Contra realm. Ice Emperor, Snow Emperor. I heard from brother Meng that there is a very special place in the far north. Is the legend that the scorching heat is hidden in the extreme cold true? Tianlin opened the attached soul bone and looked towards the 2 behind the scenes spirits behind Ning Rang Grang asked, there is indeed this legend, but I have never been there. The Ice Emperor has fought against the creatures that came out there. Just ask her. The Snow Emperor said, actually, I stepped into it accidentally at the time. It was said to be in the far north, but it actually didn't really exist in the present world. It was in another space. There was a gap in the middle connecting that space with the far north. The Northland is like a front and back, extremely hot. Guarding the gap in the space is a fire and earth dual attribute soul beast that is about 200,000 years old. The Fire Lord is very powerful. I have to use all my strength to defeat him. Ice Emperor occult, but I don't know if the crack is still there. I can take you to see it later. Dual attributes of fire and earth, 200,000-year-old flamed lord. Upon hearing this, Tianlin was immediately tempted. The martial spirit of the golden generation Yan of the Spirit Hall is the Fire Lord, which can rival the blue electric Tyrannosaurus. From this, you can see how powerful this spirit beast is, and it happens to have dual attributes of fire and earth, and its age is also very high. It is really suitable for me. The only thing he is worried about now is that things like space cracks will be repaired by the world. If it is gone now, then he has nothing to do. Don't worry, brother Ocean. If you can't find the Fire Lord for your 8th soul ring, why not choose my son? It has the dual attributes of water and earth, and its age is close to 300,000 years. It is very strong. Let's like Meng. It should become the wisdom soul ring of Zhao younger brother. Snow Emperor suddenly smiled. Son? Snow Emperor, you have a son? I've never heard of it. Meng Bingxi was shocked. Could it be that their king in the far north was taken away by some damn male creature at some point? Not my biological son, but my godson. He is an ice bear that I recognized after breaking through 400,000 years. I named him Xiaobei. Although he is not one of the 3 kings of the far north, his true combat power is better than that of Titan. The Snow Demon King will be even worse. The Snow Emperor had spotted Tianlin's potential. She knew that Tianlin would definitely become a god, so she hoped that her godson would also become a god. Okay, thank you very much, Sister Zudi, for your kindness. Tianlin agreed with a smile. How could he not know the Ice Bear King Xiaobei after reading the original work? It is 300,000 years old and has the attributes of water and soil. It is indeed a good choice. It's just that it's so easy to name these big guys. Poseidon's pet great white shark seems to be also named Xiaobei. Chapter 389 Ice Bear King Xiaobei. After half a day of meditation, Tianlin had basically returned to his peak state thanks to the powerful soul power recovery speed of the Huayan meditation method. In this way, they can continue to penetrate into the far north with peace of mind. With 2 former kings guiding the way, there was no need to worry about getting lost in the ice and snow. Not long after, Tianlin and Ning Rangrang came to a canyon of ice. Qian Meng Bingbing said in surprise, "Hey, Bingbing, isn't this your home?" "Yes, I was separated from my tribe and have been living here alone because this is where I met the ferocious beast level Fire Lord. Apart from me and the Snow Emperor, looking at the far north, even the Titan Snow Demon King is no match for the Fire Lord. I'm worried that if it appears again, it will pose a threat to my people, so I simply stay here," the Ice Emperor explained. "Since I'm leaving this time, I thought let's find a way to completely resolve this trouble." Tianlin stepped forward and used his powerful mental power to sense it, and even used part of Shura's divine power. Soon, he felt a trace of space vibration. Yes, there is indeed a small alien space behind this place. If I guessed correctly, it was man-made. But who would create a heat-inducing alien space in this cold place? Tianlin was puzzled. "Brother Ocean, do you have a way to get in?" Snow Emperor asked. Tianlin shook his head. "No, I think the original space crack has been repaired by the world. Now this space is very stable. It is difficult to enter without a special attack to tear the space. My magic sword skill is there is a move that works, but unfortunately, I didn't light it up. It seems that, if I want to enter, I have to get my 8th ring first." Tianlin was a little regretful. It seemed that he would not be able to get this ferocious beast soul ring with dual attributes of fire and earth. To enter, you must first obtain the 8th ring, but what is the use of entering after obtaining the 8th ring? This is a paradox. We still need to find out clearly, lest the Flame Lord come out to wreak havoc in our far north and hurt my people in the future. Snow Emperor said, "In this case, Ocean, go to my place to find Xiaobei first and use his power. Light up your 8th soul skill, and then we'll come back." "Okay, then please let Snow Emperor lead the way." Tianlin agreed. The Ice Bear King's power is exactly the same as that of the Fire Lord. It's just a pity that Tianlin's elemental imbalance will be even more serious. The already strong water and earth are further strengthened, and the distance between them and fire is widened. In the future, the power of the most powerful magic sword skill, Heaven and Earth Yuanling Slash, will definitely be greatly affected. But there was nothing he could do about it. Tianlin could only wait until he entered the Divine Realm to find a solution to the elemental imbalance problem of the magic sword. In fact, he doesn't have to worry about this at all. In the God Realm at this time, God Shura has already thought of a countermeasure for him. Lord Shura God, who has always been criticized by Tianlin for being stingy, has spent a lot of money this time. He directly found the 5 elemental gods of wind, fire, water, earth, and thunder, and added his own power, vowing to create the strongest god-given soul ring, and this soul ring would completely solve Tianlin's problems at this moment. One of the Vulcans suddenly sensed something. "Hey, there seemed to be someone just now. What's wrong?" Fire God, Water God asked with concern. As the saying goes, fire and water are incompatible, but this is not reflected in these two gods. On the contrary, they are a couple with an excellent relationship. Vulcan smiled casually. "Nothing. Let's finish making the god-given soul ring that Shura requested first. This guy's really good at summoning people. In fact, as a first level god, the elemental god is slightly inferior to Shura in status, but he does not have to obey his orders completely. However, although the previous Shura god enforced the law strictly, he was not an old stubborn who only valued the law. He would also help people because of favors. He is a small person, which makes him popular among the gods, of course, except for the Rakshasa god. That's why the elemental gods were willing to help Shura with this small favor, also to accumulate some favors for the new Shura god who would take office in the future. While they were talking, Tianlin and Ning Rangrang held hands and came to Snow Emperor's territory. Her territory was very close to Ice Emperor's place. This is probably why Ice Emperor chose to settle there. It is said that Ice Emperor liked Snow Emperor. It seems that it is not all rumors. I really didn't expect that Cheyenne Mengbinken's biggest love rival was actually a woman. The Snow Emperor used ice to create a city of ice and snow. The city was very quiet and there was no one else. She is completely different from the Ice Emperor. The Ice and Snow Girl does not have a clan, but is blessed with a creature that is condensed from the purest ice attributed energy of heaven and earth in the core circle of the far north. After countless years of gestation, she finally has her own thoughts and wisdom have become intelligent creatures. Because Snow Emperor was born and raised as a girl of ice and snow, he never enjoyed the warmth brought by his parents, and he had no relatives or friends of the same race. When he came into the world, he was only a lonely person. It was this loneliness that allowed Snow Emperor to transform human thoughts, because she longs for family, friendship and love, so she hopes to experience human society. If she hadn't picked up Xiaobei and raised it, the Snow Emperor might have chosen to transform into a human being and rebuild his body hundreds of thousands of years ago. Xiaobei, mother is back, come out soon. The Snow Emperor's soul said. The castle suddenly shook. Hearing his mother's voice, Xiaobei rushed out of the castle excitedly. It was a particularly huge ice bear. Its huge body was as big as a hill. Even if it is moving forward on all fours, its height is more than 15 meters, and its huge body is covered with thick hair. The white fur has a hint of bright silver, but when Xiaobei came out, he only saw Tianlin and Ningrangrang. He didn't see his mother, but he felt his mother's breath from Ningrangrang. It was his mother's soul ring and soul bone. At this moment, Xiaobei's eyes turned red. With his well-developed limbs and simple mind, he subconsciously believed that his mother was hunted by the two humans in front of him. Roar! Xiaobei roared angrily, and without asking a word, the huge ice bear's palm came directly towards the two of them. This was Xiaobei's innate soul skill, the palm of the giant spirit. Snow Emperor, why is your son so impulsive? He won't use his little brain to think about who can hunt you in this far north. Cheyenne Meng Iceworm complained helplessly. My little Bei is just relatively simple. How can he think calmly when he sees his mother's soul ring and soul bone in someone else's body? But this child is so obedient and filial. Look at him now. He is angry because of me. Snow Emperor said with a smile. She valued family ties and always loved Xiaobei. Seeing Xiaobei get so angry for her sake, she was actually quite happy. Chapter 390 Xiaobei sacrifices the 8th ring of Tianlin. Dark Gold Terraclaw. Facing Xiaobei's palm with all his strength, even Tianlin was careless and used the Dark Gold Terraclaw to withstand Xiaobei's bare paw. The power of this Ice Bear King is indeed many times more powerful than the original Demon Bear Douluo. Even Tang Heo, who has opened the martial soul true body, may not be able to compare with it. Tianlin has not opened the soul bone armor, so he can only barely hold on. Seeing that Cheyenne Mengbinken and Snow Emperor were still making sarcastic remarks, he said angrily, you two, if you have anything to say, we can chat later. Let the Ice Bear King calm down first. Haha, brother Xiaoshan, don't worry, sister Rangrong, I can lend you my body. Snow Emperor said with a smile. Ningrangrang nodded and followed the method taught by Tianlin and temporarily handed over her body to the Snow Emperor. In an instant, the little witch Ningrangrang turned into the noble and cold Emperor of the Snow. The Snow Emperor, Xiaobei, mother is here, please stop. Mother? Xiaobei immediately regained his composure when he heard Snow Emperor's voice. He looked at Ningrangrang. Although he looked like someone else, the soul inside was definitely his mother's. Although Xiaobei's IQ is not high, he has advanced cultivation after all, and has reached the level of a ferocious beast. He is not even able to recognize his own mother. Mother, it's really mother. Great, mother is not dead. Xiaobei jumped up and down happily. Although she was big and strong, her voice was as cute as a child's. Xiaobei, you are too big, turn into a human, and talk to me. Snow Emperor ordered. No, mother. Xiaobei agreed obediently, and his whole body began to shrink gradually, turning into an extremely cute little boy. A spherical human being with a huge belly, all fat and white, and even his head is spherical. He looks very funny. Ningrangrang, who was hiding in the Sea of Spirit, saw this. His eyes shone brightly. Wow, this is the human form of Ice Bear King Xiaobei. It is so cute. Girls always have little resistance to cute things. Emperor Zhu looked proud when he heard this. Yes, that's of course. Xiaobei was trained by me. He is not only powerful, but also a good son who is well behaved and filial. Come on, Xiaobei, call me uncle and aunt. Xiaobei obediently bowed to Tianlin and Ningrangrong. Hello uncle, hello auntie. It was Xiaobei's fault just now. Please don't be angry, uncle and auntie. Hearing Xiaobei's name, Tianlin felt a little uncomfortable. Zhu Emperor, Xiaobei is already close to 300,000 years old. Isn't it inappropriate for you to ask him to call me and Rangrang uncle and aunt? I feel that most of them are brothers and sisters. That's it. What are you talking about? If it calls you brothers and sisters, then you have to call me aunt. Is this emperor that old? Snow Emperor said with a smile. Everyone nodded inwardly after hearing this. You have it. No matter how beautiful you look, it can't change the fact that you are close to 700,000 years old. But they didn't dare to say this in front of the Snow Emperor, otherwise the angry Snow Emperor would make them miserable, even if he only had one soul left. Mother, how come you are in a human body? Xiaobei asked confused. Mother sacrificed herself to mankind in order to pursue strength and immortality. From now on, Mother will leave the far north. Snow Emperor stroked Xiaobei's background head and said softly. Xiaobei became anxious when he heard this. Mother, you are leaving. Don't you want Xiaobei anymore? Of course not. Mother will not abandon Xiaobei. I came back this time just to ask you if you want to go with Mother. If you are willing, sacrifice to that uncle, and then use Uncle Xian Meng's method to become one of his wisdom soul rings will become gods together with his mother in the future. If you want to continue to stay in this far north, then Mother will immediately give an order as a Snow Emperor. You will be my successor and the new leader of the far north. King, as for that guy Ate, let him die. The Snow Emperor said gently. She cares about her son very much, but she won't restrict his thoughts. Xiaobei's future is decided by him. Even his partiality is too obvious. The Titan Snow Demon King came to the Snow Emperor to express his love, but all his bones were broken. However, Xiaobei could do nothing. It was the opportunity to become a god and heir to the throne. Sure enough, the relationship was different. When Xiaobei heard this, he said without hesitation, I'll go with my mother, too. The king of the far north was not there at all. Xiaobei had no ambitions or ideals. He just wanted to accompany his mother. Okay, Xiaobei, don't worry. I promise that, when I go to the god realm in the future, Rangrang and I will rebuild the body of a divine beast for you, and the Snow Emperor 10 times stronger than now. After hearing Xiaobei's promise, Tianlin he is also very happy that his 8th soul ring has finally arrived. Well, thank you, uncle. Xiaobei looks mighty, but is actually very cute and polite. I have to say, this Snow Emperor's education is really good. At least it's much better than Uncle Ning. What he taught me is hard to describe. Tianlin glanced at Ning Rangrang subconsciously. This little girl was the little witch spoiled by Ning Fengxi and her grandfathers. Noticing Tianlin's gaze, Ning Rangrang suddenly said dissatisfied, Brother Jian, what's in your eyes? Are you thinking that Xiaobei is more educated than me and you dislike me? Not a lot, just a little bit. Tianlin raised his left hand and said with a little gap between his thumb and index finger, that's about the same. Ning Rangrang also has self-awareness. She knows that she is definitely not as polite as Xiaobei, but if it's just a little bit, she can still accept it. It's a pity that she has never heard of the universe between fingers, otherwise she would probably be acting petty again. Okay, then Xiaobei, just follow the method I told you to sacrifice. Qian Meng Bingxi said. The method of sacrificing a wisdom soul ring was created by it, and no one knows it better than him. Xiaobei listened quietly and quickly understood this method. It was just naive, but definitely not stupid. Otherwise, he would not have been able to break through 2 soul beast catastrophes in a row and reach the level of cultivation that is now close to 300,000 years old. Then, uncle, I'm coming. After Xiaobei said, a red barrier opened. This was a sacrificial formation several times larger than Xiao Wu's not long ago point after all. Whether it was cultivation or strength, Xiao Wu was completely different from Xiao Bei point with Tianlin's current physical condition. It was very easy to absorb Xiao Bei's more than 200,000-year-old soul ring without even opening the Holy Spirit realm point circles of red energy. Rushed towards Tianlin's magic sword. Xiao Bei also sacrificed his soul ring and soul bone to Tianlin at the same time. In order to echo its soul bone, several other soul bones of Tianlin also appeared and transformed into its soul bone armor in addition to the torso and left leg. Tianlin has other parts. Ning Rangrang is very curious, which part will her brother Jian get this time, the torso or the left leg? No matter where he is, his soul bone armor will become more perfect. Chapter 391 Externally Attached Soul Bone, Ice Bear King Palm Bone. More than an hour had passed, and a blood-red soul ring with 2 golden lines had been placed on the body of the magic sword. This sacrifice was quick. With Tianlin's current physical fitness, he could withstand this sacrifice. The soul ring is really not difficult point, but now, the soul ring has taken shape, and there is no soul bone on Tianlin's body or left leg. That Ning Rangrang has been observing point. Could it be that this Ice Bear King Xiao Bei couldn't produce soul bones? But logically speaking, it's impossible. As long as a soul beast breaks through 100,000 years, it will definitely be able to produce soul bones that the absorber doesn't have yet. This is an inevitable event point. Although Ning Rangrang is Ning Feng's his daughter, she is not a top student because she doesn't study seriously at ordinary times. It can only be said that she is not a theoretical scumbag like Tianlin, but she is far behind Yi Lingling. She couldn't understand the situation, so she could only ask what was behind her. Sister Snow Emperor, Sister Ice Emperor, do you know why brother Tianlin didn't absorb the soul bone this time? Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor glanced around Tianlin and said in surprise, it's not that the soul bone was not absorbed, but that it absorbed an unusual soul bone. Sister Rangrang, look at brother Xiaoshan's right palm. Ning Rangrang looked around and saw that the right hand was covered with ice crystals and had turned into the palm of a mighty ice bear. It soon turned into something similar to a silver white glove, which turned into soul bone armor. It's actually the attached soul bone, the Ice Bear King's right metacarpal bone. Although Rangrang didn't study enough, she could still see the external soul bone. She didn't expect that her brother Jian was so lucky that he got another external soul bone, and it was more than 200,000 years old. Metacarpal bones. Coincidentally, the palm bones and right arm bones on Tianlin's right arm are both from bear soul beasts. The soul bone skills of these two soul bones should complement each other to form a stronger soul bone fusion skill. Since killing that Tang San, Xiaoshan's luck has simply started to run wild. The sect has developed faster, the success rate of alchemy has increased greatly, and Ning Rangrang's strength has skyrocketed. Now he has obtained another externally attached soul bone. If he had known that killing there are so many benefits to marrying that guy, I should have asked Xiaoshan to take action a long time ago. Alas, it's all the fault of Nuwa's descendant sister. Qian Meng Binkan was happy for Tianlin, but couldn't help complaining at the same time. Point. If he had killed Tang San 10 years earlier, Tianlin might have reached the level of title Douluo point, that is to say, the descendant of Nuwa. Tang Yu always insisted that Tang San and Tianlin before the Oslo incident did not have any deep hatred. No matter how great the benefits were, they could not kill people indiscriminately for themselves. However, this is also the character of the Nuwa clan in the fairy sword world, and no one can change it. Point. At this time, Tianlin had already absorbed the soul ring soul bone. He perfectly distinguished the water and earth attributes in the soul ring, and then introduced other attributes to form two new soul skills. The first one is the magic sword skill with the 4 attributes of fire, thunder, wind, and earth, which can spin light and swallow the sun and moon. Point. This is a unique attack soul skill that is different from other attacks. It uses the magic sword to tear apart space and then banish the enemy to a different space. Point. If the opponent does not have space skills, even Bibidang's immortal body may never come back once it is sucked into a different space. Point. The second one is the magic sword skill with the 4 attributes of water, thunder, wind, and earth, which can return yin and yang with the ultimate curse. Point. This is the most powerful auxiliary skill of the demon sword. Unlike 10,000 souls restore divine light, that move can only restore the soul power of Tianlin's current level. In other words, it can only restore soul masters whose level is lower than Tianlin's. The ultimate curse, to return to yin and yang, is different. This means that physical strength, mental strength, soul power, etc. are all restored to full. There is no upper limit, even for today's Chengxin. Even if he encounters some powerful enemy and beats him, until his physical strength is exhausted, his mental strength will be exhausted. Even if his strength is exhausted, and his soul power has bottomed out, Tianlin can restore it to its strongest state in an instant. The shortcomings are the same as the return of all spirits to divine light, once a day. But this is enough. It is equivalent to adding another life to one's own. Tianlin exhaled a breath of turbid air and completely channeled his soul power. At this time, his soul power had reached level 82. He was already a real Sword Douluo, and qualified to wear Douluo robes. After all, Contra also occupies the word Douluo. On this continent, anyone who can be related to these two words is a supreme existence. Brother Jian, you succeeded. Ningrangran greeted him happily. Her brother Jian became stronger again. Yes, if I were to challenge Tang Heo again now, even if I don't summon the two gods, or use the heavenly sword and soul bone armor, I don't think I would necessarily be at a disadvantage. Tianlin said confidently. Now his personal combat power, not counting the twin gods and soul bone armor, is already completely comparable to that of a Super Douluo. Of course, he was only a level 95 or 96 Super Douluo. Each level up to this realm meant a qualitative change in strength. Tianlin believed that he was no match for the 98th level Golden Crocodile Douluo in a single fight. But if you summon the two gods and the soul bone armor together, it will not be difficult to contend with him. It can be said that looking at all the humans in the Douluo Continent, Tianlin's current full strength can probably be ranked 7th, second only to the 4 ultimate Douluo, Bibidong and Golden Crocodile Douluo. Of course, those guys hiding in the dark don't count. After all, Tianlin doesn't know what level of strength they have reached. Brother Xiaoshan, my son's soul ring and soul bone are very good, and they are also attached with soul bones. You must repay him well in the future, Snow Emperor said with a smile. As a mother, she must work hard for her son. Fight for benefits, that's natural, Tianlin said with a smile. He would never repay a favor. Xiaobei, come out and see your mother. The cute ice bear Wang Xiaobei has also become the spirit behind Tianlin, and lives in Tianlin's spiritual sea with Xianmeng Ice Worm. Xiaobei's soul emerged. Mom, don't worry, I'm fine. I will live with Uncle Xianmeng from now on. Okay, if Xianmeng Bing can bullies you in the future, just ask Xianlin to tell me that when I come to the God realm in the future, I will help you get it back with interest. Snow Emperor's protective behavior left Xianmeng Bingken very speechless. Sister, you must be conscientious when speaking. How dare I bully Xiaobei? Besides, I have small arms and legs. It would be nice if it doesn't bully me. Haha, it's good that you know. Snow Emperor smiled charmingly. Xiaobei now has a home, and she feels much more relieved. Xianlin, can you open that space now? Ice Emperor looked at Tianlin and asked. Tianlin nodded. It should be possible. My newly acquired 8th soul skill can tear apart space. That's good. We must find out what's over there this time. As one of the 3 kings of the far north, Ice Emperor is still very responsible. Even if she wants to leave, she must first find that strange land space. Otherwise, if she and the Snow Emperor leave, and the Fire Lord comes out again, no one in the entire far north, including the Titan Snow Demon King, can beat it. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 392, Breaking into a Different Space, Lord of Fire. Returning to the Ice Emperor's territory again, Tianlin summoned the magic sword, and 8 soul rings of yellow, purple, black, red, and red appeared. Such a young contrast is unprecedented. This is all thanks to my brother. When Xianmeng Bingken saw this Tianlin exuding extraordinary aura, he looked proud. Lin is 1, and for it, Tianlin becomes stronger. When it becomes stronger, the 8th soul skill, swelling light swallows the sun and the moon. Tianlin swung out his sword, and a dark sword energy slashed into the air. The originally stable space had cracks like a mirror, and then shattered. A huge black hole appeared in the center of the canyon. All the surrounding wind and snow were sucked towards the black hole, and the black hole continued to expand. If this continued, the entire far north would completely disappear. What? A terrifying suction force. Is this the power of Tianlin's 8th soul skill? The Ice Emperor said in horror. When Tianlin becomes a god in the future, this move will create an extremely huge black hole. Theoretically, it may be enough to destroy the entire world. Ocean, quickly find that alien space and seal the black hole again. Otherwise this valley and even the entire far north will be destroyed. Tianming ice were merged. Okay. The Tianlin demon sword swung continuously, tearing apart space after space. Finally, after one of the places was broken, what appeared was not a black hole, but a very heating flame point. That must be the backside of the far north. That the Ice King said. Tianlin quickly restored all the black holes he had made, then took Ning Rangrang's hand, and the two of them wrapped their bodies with extreme ice, and rushed in before the space crack closed. Inside is a fiery red world, somewhat similar to the demon realm Yanbakuan where Tianlin used to play the fairy sword game. It is true that things must be reversed at the extremes. Just now they were in the far north, where the temperature was below zero, but now they seemed to have entered the center of the sun, roasting people in an instant. Fortunately, both of them have extreme ice attributes, and can barely hold on point, but the two of them were still sweating profusely, and Ning Rangrang's dress was already tightly attached to her delicate body, revealing her moving curves. Brother Jian, this place and the far north are two extremes. There are such hot places in the world. Ning Rangrang complained, while wiping sweat from himself, and Tianlin. This high temperature is very damaging to the skin. This space is man-made. It's strange. Who would create such a hot space in a cold place like the far north? Tianlin asked puzzledly. Being able to create such a stable space, ultimate fighting Luo can't do it. There is only one possibility, and that is God, who, in front of you, dares to break into the scorching hell. At this moment, a majestic voice sounded from the front, containing a huge pressure, which was not under the current Tianlin. Here, the number 1 soul skill, Ning Hans no. Tianlin shot out the cold air of extreme ice in one direction, and at the same time, a scorching fireball flew in front of him. The two energies collided in midair and both dissipated. There is no distinction between top and bottom. With such a level of cultivation, he seems to be a strong person among humans. The voice seemed a little surprised. Although it was just a casual blow from it could see that the opponent also did not use its full strength. It seems that it can't do anything if it doesn't show up to confront the enemy today. Bang. A huge figure of more than 30 meters fell from the sky and landed in front of Tianlin and Ning Rangrang. It was a giant covered in flames, wearing dark red armor, with double horns on its head. It looked domineering. Sure enough, it's the Fire Lord. Tianlin had seen Yan possessed by Wuhan before, looking like this, but Yan's Fire Lord pales in comparison to this one. The strength of this 200,000-year-old ferocious beast level Flame Lord is even greater than that of the Titan Giant Ape and Azure Bull Python in the Lake of Life, and has undoubtedly reached the level of a human level 96 to 97 Super Douluo. If the two gods of Tianlin come out together, there will be no problem in dealing with it, but if Tianlin only relies on himself, he will be at a loss at most. Tianlin didn't want to kill it today. After all, he had already obtained the 8th soul ring. The Holy Spirit Pearl could not add soul rings at all for the time being, otherwise it would be bad to waste other Spirit Pearl slots. Therefore, his main purpose now is to find out the reason why this space exists here, and to determine whether the monsters in it will have any influence on the extreme north. After the 3 powerful men, Ice Emperor Snow Emperor and Ice Bear King Xiaobei, have left pose a threat point, but the Flame Lord didn't want to give Tianlin a chance to ask questions, so he punched him with a heavy flame. Rangrang, step back. Tianlin quickly pulled Ning Rangrang behind him, while the arm bones and metacarpal bones of his right hand appeared at the same time. The attached soul bone of Ice Bear King Xiaobei also brings 2 soul skills to Tianlin, one of which is its most powerful stunt, Giant Spirit Palm. Tianlin fused this move with the soul bone of the Dark Gold Terror Claw Bear, creating a soul bone fusion skill that was different from the soul bone armor. Dark Gold Giant Spirit Palm. Tianlin shouted violently and faced the Fire Lord's heavy punch. This Flame Lord also has the ultimate fire attribute, which offsets Tianlin's ultimate ice. However, the palm of this Dark Gold Giant Spirit also contains the ultimate gold of the Dark Gold Terror Claw Bear, which is the most powerful one. An attribute point. In an instant, the Fire Lord's arm seemed to be cut by endless sharp weapons, and the huge arm was disintegrating. When the Fire Lord saw this, his eyes did not change at all. He actually used his left arm to tear off his right arm. This scene made the little girl Ning Rangrang feel terrified. It's so cruel. This spirit beast is not only cruel to its enemies, but also to itself. Don't be careless, Tianlin. Ice Emperor reminded. Before she could finish her words, she saw the Fire Lord sucking in the surrounding flames, and those flames flew to its broken right arm, forming a new arm. Although the Fire Lord has dual attributes of fire and earth, its earth attribute comes entirely from that set of armor, and its body is made of pure fire. Therefore, as long as there are flames, it cannot be killed. No matter how badly it is injured, it can heal instantly by fire. The reason why the Ice Emperor was able to defeat the Fire Lord was not only because of her higher cultivation level, but more importantly, because the place where the battle took place was the ice and snow in the far north. There, the Ice Emperor's strength can be fully displayed, while the Flame Lord is subject to considerable restrictions. If it fights in this Valley of Flames, I'm afraid the Ice Emperor may not be its opponent. I'm afraid even the Snow Emperor would not be able to clean it up here easily. So, that's it. This soul beast is indeed worthy of its name, and is worthy of being called the Fire Lord. Tianlin sighed. Chapter 393 Ning Rangrang vs Fire Lord. Snow Dance in the Ice Realm. A mere human being has some abilities. Take a few more moves from me. This Fire Lord had a bad temper, and didn't give Tianlin a chance to explain. If it was before, Tianlin really wanted to use it as a soul ring with evil intentions, but now that he has obtained the 8th ring, he has no intention of killing, and is just here to find out the truth. But now he didn't even have a chance to speak. Tianlin had no choice but to summon the magic sword and face the enemy seriously. The Fire Lord fired flame bombs in succession, and countless high temperature fireballs covered the entire sky. Tianlin had seen this move from Yan before, but Yan's current limit was to summon 6 fireballs, which is not like what he is doing now. The Fire Lord made it look like a meteor shower. Tianlin, you have to be careful. This move is very powerful. The last time we fought, I was able to block it with the Ice King's body protection in the far north. But now in this hot place, the power has increased several times. Even in my heyday, I will probably have to deal with it with all my strength. The Ice Emperor reminded that she had fought against this Flame Lord and knew how powerful it was. That's why the Ice Emperor was so scrupulous about it, and said that if she and the Snow Emperor were not around, no one in the entire far north would be a match for the Fire Lord. It's okay. The 8th soul skill, Swelling Light, swallows the sun and the moon. Tianlin smiled calmly. In terms of attack range, there are a few in the world who can surpass his 8th soul skill. Tianlin tore the space apart in one breath, forming a huge black hole. In an instant, all the fireballs were sucked in. Tianlin still did not give up, and continued to expand the black hole with his sword. The fire in the entire Yan Valley was completely absorbed, and the surrounding temperature. The descent begins immediately. If you lose the flame, let's see how you, the Fire Lord, can regenerate from the ashes. Tianlin pointed the sword at the Flame Lord. This guy attacks him again and again. Does he really think he has no temper? At this time, the Flame Lord was shocked. How is it possible? The fire of this scorching hell was lowered by the master himself. Even the ultimate water attribute cannot be extinguished, and now it has been sucked away. Master? Hearing this word, Tianlin thought that he was right. There must be something extraordinary here. Otherwise, the Flame Lord's strength alone would never be able to create such a vast and stable space. Fire Lord, do you still know me? Taking advantage of the Fire Lord's days, the Ice Emperor's soul sent a message point. This Flame Lord has been in this Flame Valley for more than 100,000 years. During this period, he has almost never come into contact with other people except his master. The only impression he has is when the angel god and the Poseidon became gods one after another. Because in a short period of time, two gods appeared inside, and their powerful power made the space in the lower plane of Douluo Continent unstable, causing a crack to appear. Then it met the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion. When it went out along the crack point, this was the first opponent it met after going out. Unexpectedly, it was defeated immediately. The Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion was so powerful that it was driven directly back to the scorching hell. Fire. Soul Beast, get out of the far north. It still clearly remembers the roar of the Ice Emperor at that time. Since then, the space has gradually been repaired by the plane itself, and it has never left again. You are that scorpion at that time. The Fire Lord looked at Ning Rangrang's side. Although it could not see the Ice Emperor who had turned into a soul, it could clearly sense that she was there. The Ice Emperor nodded. Yes, it's me. I haven't seen you for many years. I didn't expect that your cultivation level has exceeded 250,000 years. It seems that practicing in this Flame Valley will be of great benefit to you. HMPH, I understand. You are here to drive everyone away. Back then, I just strayed into your far northland, but I was attacked endlessly by you. Today, it is you who have offended my territory. Don't take it seriously. I'm easy to bully. The Flame Lord was so furious that he immediately abandoned Tianlin and attacked Ning Rangrang. Rangrang, be careful. Tianlin stepped forward to protect her, but he didn't expect Ning Rangrang to be one step ahead of him. Brother Jian, don't worry. The Snow Emperor's soul ring flickered, and Ning Rangrang chose to directly meet the Fire Lord's attack. This was her first battle after becoming a battle soul master, and she faced such a powerful enemy, but she was not afraid. In the past, when she encountered danger, she would always be behind Tianlin or her grandfathers, but that won't happen anymore. She will become stronger and move forward with them. Emperors. Palm. Great cold without snow. A palm that froze all things, and a punch from Tianlin. Flames and ice surged in this alien space at the same time. Because all the surrounding flames had been sucked away by Tianlin's black hole, neither side had the advantage of the environment. It can be considered a fair fight point, but the strength gap between the two sides still existed, and it didn't take long for Ning Rangrang to be at a disadvantage. Today's Rangrang's situation is very similar to Tianlin during the soul hunting operation. They both have twin martial souls, and their soul rings are also unreasonably strong. But after all, Tianlin is a dual combat spirit, but Ning Rangrang's 9 treasure glazed pagoda is an auxiliary spirit, and the increase in her strength will definitely not be as great as Tianlin's. Ning Rangrang has no problem fighting a Contra now. A weaker title might be able to win a little bit, but when it comes to a Super Douluo level powerhouse like the Fire Lord, it's not enough. Sister Snow Emperor, Sister Ice Emperor, please give me strength. Ning Rangrang gritted her teeth. She didn't want to rely on Tianlin for everything. She didn't have the ability before, and pure auxiliary soul masters couldn't do anything about it. Now that she has the strength, she also wants to like Guran and the others. They will fight side by side with Tianlin in the future. It was precisely because he saw Ning Rangrang's thoughts that Tianlin did not rush forward to help. Anyway, he still had the ultimate curse to return to yin and yang, so he did not have to worry about Rangrang's safety. Later, he planned to let Ning Rangrang go to Poseidon Island, and he didn't plan to go with him, so now he had to cultivate Ning Rangrang's fighting ability. Sister Rangrang, open my cold sky domain and the Ice Emperor's eternal frozen domain at the same time. Snow Emperor said. Upon hearing this, Ning Rangrang did not hesitate and activated the Torso Bone and Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion Soul Ring at the same time. Ice Sky Snow Emperor Soul Bone Skill, Emperor Hanshin, Snow Dance Shining Sun, the second soul skill, the Realm of Eternal Freezing, the 2 strongest ice field spread, which made the Fire Lord feel very uncomfortable. Not only that, the 2 realms actually began to slowly merge. This was the unprecedented realm fusion skill of the two Ice and Snow Emperors. Snow dance in the Ice realm. Once this field is opened, the Ice Soul Master's strength will be enhanced several times, and the increase will far exceed that of the martial soul's true body, and is enough to rival soul bone armor. At the same time, non-Ice Soul Masters or Soul Beasts, especially those of the Fire system, all attributes will be weakened by more than 80%. Gradually, Ningrangrang not only recovered the disadvantage, but even slowly pushed back the Fire Lord's fire point. Just as he was about to turn defeat into victory, there was a sudden bang, but at the last moment, the entire realm was shattered. The Fire Lord's fire was no longer able to resist, and was about to hit Ningrangrang point at the critical moment. Tianlin teleported in front of Ningrangrang, and cut the flames apart with a sword. Chapter 394 Vulcan Heritage Site 1. Brother Jian, I'm sorry, I still lost. Once again, Ningrangrang could only stand behind Tianlin, and Ningrangrang looked very aggrieved. Tianlin tapped her small mouth with his finger, which was almost big enough to hang a soy sauce bottle, and said with a smile, "Silly girl, what are you thinking about? You have done well enough. If you want to change to an ordinary soul saint, you will be like this." The Fire Lord rubbed it, and it is estimated that even the bones have been melted at this moment. Yes, Sister Rangrong, don't mind. The Zuwu Ice domain is my strongest domain in the far north. It is even better than the talent domains of god level martial arts. You can't master it now. There is nothing we can do about it. Snow Emperor comforted in point. The Ice Emperor nodded. The Snow Emperor is right, and judging from the result, you have won. The Ice Emperor's speech did not avoid the Fire Lord at all, and fell into its ears word for word. The Fire Lord immediately became angry. What nonsense. Does this little girl want to defeat me? Even if she had just mastered that field and hit me, she could only barely injure me. But if I use with all your strength, she will definitely die in less than a stick of incense. Haha, a ferocious beast that is more than 200,000 years old can actually be injured by a soul saint who has just reached level 70 or a little girl. Isn't this more embarrassing than death? You tell me, isn't it? Bing bing. Xian Meng Bing. Silkworm looked at the Ice Emperor flatteringly. That's right. Even Xian Meng, a loser, understands this truth, but you have the nerve to refute it. You are worse than a loser. The Ice Emperor mercilessly scolded Xian Meng. Bing Shu, everything Bing Bing said is right. Bing Bing is so good. As a result, Xian Meng, a bottomless guy, not only admitted it, but also cheered her on. Snow Emperor looked at his son, Xiao Bebe. Mother wants to ask you, if you fight with a girl who has just reached level 70, and are injured by her, will you feel embarrassed? How strong is level 70? Xiao Bei looked confused. Before it met Tianlin and Ningrangrang, it had never seen a human being, and didn't know the strength of a soul master. The Snow Emperor thought for a moment, and made an analogy. Level 70 is equivalent to the cubs of your Ice Bear clan, that are about 50 or 60,000 years old. By the way, they are still female bears. Are you so weak? No, Xiao Bei will not be so embarrassed. Mother must believe in Xiao Bei. Xiao Bei immediately felt aggrieved. She thought that the Snow Emperor was underestimating its strength, but now its body it's gone, and there's nothing I can do to prove it. I can only explain it in a cute way. You bunch of bastards. The Flame Lord's veins popped out. Although it couldn't see the four soul bodies, their soul transmission deliberately did not avoid it. It heard the four guys singing in harmony. This is a mockery. It must be. Tianlin shed a cold sweat. He didn't know that these top soul beasts in Douluo Continent had such venomous tongues. They didn't want to kill the Fire Lord, but they wanted to piss him off. I'm afraid Xiao Bei didn't do this intentionally, but its natural appearance is the most lethal. What are you guys doing here? The Fire Lord suppressed his anger forcibly. It could see that the people in front of it were not looking for trouble. Otherwise, if the two humans in front of them join forces, it will be no match at all. All the flames here have been absorbed by Tianlin, and it has lost the ability to resurrect. If they really wanted to take action, they would have died long ago. We have no malicious intent. We are just here to find out the reason for the existence of this space, and whether you will pose a threat to the far north. Your subsequent answer will determine our attitude. Tianlin stepped forward. HMPH, if I pose a threat, what do you want to do? Just kill me here? Let me tell you, it's just a place in the far north. I can go there if I want. I can also kill the soul beasts there if I want. What can you do to me? The Fire Lord said angrily. In fact, it has no interest in the far north at all. It only entered by mistake and was beaten up. It had no intention of going there again. However, after all, it is also one of the overlords among the fire type soul beasts. It has a strong rebellious mentality. The more it is intimidated by others, the more harsh it becomes, and what it says is completely different from what it thinks. Hearing what it said, the Ice Emperor's face turned ugly. In that case, Tianlin, don't be polite to this guy. If you kill it, even if it doesn't absorb the soul ring, you still have a 200,000-year-old soul bone. The Ice Emperor also had a bad temper and didn't bother to care what the Fire Lord was thinking. Anyway, if he didn't understand current affairs, he would just kill him. In this case, there is nothing we can do. Let's fight. Tianlin grasped the hilt of the demon sword, and the sword energy rose. The Fire Lord's whole body burned, and the sea of fire boiled. It seemed that the two sides were about to fight again. Suddenly, a majestic voice came. Stop it, RHUO. There are also the heirs of Shuragod and the quasi-heirs of Poseidon. This voice was accompanied by infinite power. Just by relying on the tone of his voice, all the sword energy on Tianlin's body and the rising flames of the Fire Lord were dispersed. Tianlin was stunned for a moment. Extreme Douluo couldn't achieve this kind of power. There was only one possibility. The one who came was a god. In the sky, a man with fiery red hair slowly descended. This was not his real body, but a projection, similar to the situation of the Shura god and the Sword god. When the Flame Lord saw this man, he could no longer live up to his previous domineering power, and prostrated humbly on the ground. See Lord Vulcan, sir, why did you come down to earth in person? Hearing what the Fire Lord called the man, except for Tianlin, everyone else was shocked. The man in front of them was actually the first level god in the god realm, the god of fire. Tianlin had already guessed that it must be the work of a god to create such a stable space, but he didn't expect it to be a first level god. If you guessed it right, this should be the inheritance place of the god of fire. No wonder Mahanjan was able to find it later, and it turned out to be on Douluo Continent. It's just hidden in a different space, so it's not as conspicuous as other gods. If I don't come, I'm afraid you will die today. RHUO, I have known you for almost 200,000 years. When will you change your bad temper? Vulcan looked at the Flame Lord and lectured. It seems that this Fire Lord is like Xiaobe from Poseidon Island, a guardian soul beast belonging to this scorching hell. Before the fire god became a god, he was friends with it. Lord Vulcan, they broken without permission. The Fire Lord tried to quibble, but was interrupted by the Vulcan. Okay, I know the whole story clearly. As the Ice Emperor and the Snow Emperor, as the King of the Far North, since he is leaving here, he must deal with the follow-up matters. It's their responsibility. These people are here just to find out the truth. You didn't give them a chance to explain and took action forcefully. Let me tell you what you are good at. Vulcan's words were full of helplessness. He had known the Fire Lord for many years, and he would not really punish it. He could only teach it a few gentle words. Chapter 395 Fire God Heritage Site 2. Lord Vulcan, you are trespassing here. We are the ones offended this time. Tianlin bowed his hands to Vulcan. I just didn't expect that this is your inheritance. It seems that our worries are unnecessary. Haha, it doesn't matter. I'm just following the example of Poseidon and Shuragod to create a place of inheritance in Douluo Continent. It has been countless thousands of years. You and this little girl are still the first two to enter this land. Human beings in space. It's a pity that one of you is the heir of Shuragod, and the other is the prospective heir of Poseidon who has withstood the power of the vast sea. But you are not destined to be with me, alas. Vulcan sighed, feeling a little disappointed. Perhaps it was because this Lord God did not look evil at all. Ningrangrang mustered up the courage and said, Lord God of Fire, I don't understand. Since you are the God of Fire, why would you set up the inheritance site in this cold pole, the land of the north? for the purpose of screening. Just as the premise of the Poseidon inheritance is to withstand the power of the vast sea and the vast sea, the premise of the Shura god inheritance is to obtain the killing god domain through the Hell Road. To accept my assessment, first of all, the attributes must be the same as those of my god. The position matches, and then we have to come here. Vulcan said. It turns out that this is the deepest part of the far north. There are only two types of people who can survive here. The first type is the adaptable people, like Rangrang now. He has a powerful ice martial spirit and can completely adapt to this place. The second type of cold air is the one who resists. That is, he has the attribute that opposes the cold air, fire. The Flame Soul Master who can reach this point must be the best among the Fire Soul Masters. Tianlin could completely understand what the god of fire was thinking. Even the legend that the scorching heat was hidden in the cold was probably released by the god of fire on his own initiative, just to attract the Flame Soul Masters. The road in this far north is just like the road to hell in the city of killing. It is the first test that the god of Vulcan imposes on the assessors. Vulcan nodded. You are absolutely right. As long as a fire attribute soul master with strong enough qualifications comes here, then I will open the space door and bring him in. His name is Tianlin, right? I heard God Shura mentioned you. In fact, you also have the ultimate fire in your body. You could also take the initiative to open the space channel without using soul skills to forcibly tear the space. It's a pity that you already have a god's inheritance. Although the quality of fire is very high, the quantity is too small. If you hadn't entered here, I wouldn't have even noticed it. Tianlin gave a bitter smile. What can he do if he is weak? The fire attribute in his body only comes from a purple fire goldeneye beast that is just 1,000 years old. If it were not for the external soul bone flame golden eyes, he would not even be able to achieve the ultimate fire. It is difficult to exert its power. Vulcan looked at Tianlin for a while, and he had already discovered that the elemental imbalance in Tianlin's magic sword was very serious. As a result, although the sword had reached the level of a god-level martial spirit, its power could not be fully exerted. No wonder Shura wanted to summon them. The elemental god created a special god-given soul ring for him, the inheritor. Well, Lord Vulcan, since we have determined that this is your inheritance place and will not really harm the far north, then our goal has been achieved, and we will say goodbye. Tianlin said goodbye to Vulcan and drew out the magic sword. Is ready to leave. Wait, you don't need to tear apart the space. I can open the space channel and send you a ride. Azura Inheritor, it's best not to use your space skills until you are in crisis. Even if you want to use them, don't use them. With all your strength, black holes are an extremely terrifying force in the universe. If you continue to break the space barrier of Douluo Continent will gradually become weaker and weaker. At that time, it will be easy to be attacked by some aliens. Attack from behind. Vulcan reminded. Tianlin was shocked. He didn't even know that his astonishingly powerful 8th soul skill had such side effects. Fortunately, the god of fire reminded him today, otherwise he would have been in big trouble sooner or later. Space skills are actually not uncommon in major fantasy worlds, but those are worlds with extremely powerful power systems. The stability of the plane is enough to support any huge power, but the space wall of Douluo Continent is not strong enough to withstand the force coming from it. The full attack of the magic sword in the world of fairy swords. Thank you, god of fire, for reminding me. Tianlin will remember to make good use of this trick in the future. Tianlin said gratefully. Another thing is that I have a brother who possesses the extremely high quality fire phoenix spirit and has taken a lot of supplements. The pure yang herb coxcomb phoenix sunflower has a huge and pure flame in its body, which is infinitely close to the ultimate fire. I don't know if a person like him can win your favor. If you agree, I can bring him to see you later. Hearing this, the fire god showed a hint of interest. Oh, fire phoenix, I've also eaten fairy grass, which is pretty good. Maybe I can see it, but it's not a simple matter to inherit my divine status. After all, I'm the god realm. As one of the first level main gods, in addition to qualifications and potential, background is also very important. If the inheritor does not have such strong potential as you, or this little girl, even if he can accept my assessment, the chance of failure will be greater. Vulcan mentioned the scandal first. After hearing this, Tianlin frowned and was a little worried. Although Vulcan said it very straightforwardly, it was the truth. Ningrang now has the qualifications to inherit the Poseidon. This is because of the assistance of the two immortal elixirs, the potential of twin martial souls, and the ultimate ice attribute of the Ice Emperor and Snow Emperor. But compared to her, Mahanjan is far behind. Now his Fire Phoenix, which has not completely completed its transformation, is slightly inferior to Ningrang's Ice and Snow Girl in terms of spirit quality, let alone other aspects in the original work. Mahanjan came here after taking part in the subsidiary assessment of the Poseidon assessment. His strength had reached the level of titled Douluo, but he still failed. Coming here now is like seeking death point. Even if the current Mahanjan is stronger and harder working than in the original work, Tianlin thinks it is better to let him follow the original work and go to Poseidon Island to experience. Lord Vulcan, you are right. In that case, I will let him follow Rangrang to take the Poseidon supplementary exam first, and then come back after he is banned. After Tianlin finished speaking, Vulcan suddenly looked strange and said, Azura Inheritor, are you kidding me? Asking a Flame Soul Master to participate in Poseidon's auxiliary assessment. Poseidon is the god of the sea. His control over the water element is as strong as that of my wife, Water God. Once your friend participated in his assessment, he received the soul power provided by Poseidon to increase his level and absorb the god he made. Granting a soul ring is really useless. Do you think the soul ring given by the Poseidon will not have any water properties? When the time comes, the purest phoenix fire will be disturbed, and it will never become the ultimate fire. You are just trying to encourage others. Tianlin paused. He really had never thought of such a statement. The main reason was that his 5 spirit attributes had reached perfect harmony and coexistence in his body, but he ignored that not everyone's martial soul had the same ability as his magic sword. The Poseidon test could indeed make Mahanjan stronger very quickly, but he didn't expect that it would damage his potential. Chapter 396 Demonic Flame can become a god or a devil if it is reversed. After listening to Vulcan's words, it seems that the idea of letting Mahanjan take the divine test in advance can only be postponed. And now that he knows, Tianlin will not let Mahanjan go to Poseidon Island again. Instead of pursuing a temporary and rapid increase in strength, let him practice step by step until he becomes a titled Douluo. After all, his background is far inferior to that of Tianlin, Kain Rinksu and others. He is not a coxcomb phoenix sunflower. It can be made up for it's just that in this way, Mahanjan may not be able to join the high-end battlefield in future mainland wars. After all, without the experience of Poseidon Island, his level will inevitably be left behind by others. Forget it. Who calls me the boss? I should be the one at the front. At worst, I'll let the fat man take care of the logistics from now on. Tianlin said helplessly. You worried that the practitioner is not strong enough? Seemingly seeing what Tianlin was worried about, Vulcan asked, what is this guy's character like? Character. Generally, it should be a little higher. In the past, he was controlled by evil fire and his character was extremely bad. In the past few years, he has changed under the supervision of Master Yan, but there is still a way to reach the point of perseverance. Tianlin said truthfully. Hearing this, Vulcan shook his head in disappointment. Then there's nothing we can do. Originally, I had a way to make his strength grow explosively. The premise is that his character must be strong enough. Lord Vulcan, please speak clearly. Tianlin requested. If there was a way, he still wanted to try it. Actually, this space was created when I was in the God realm. The purpose of creation at that time was not to inherit the divine throne, but to seal the demonic flames between heaven and earth. The god of fire spread out his palms, and only the palms of his palms were visible. A jet black flame appeared. It was different from the normal bright flame. The sight of this fire made people palpitate, and it also produced feelings of nausea and fear from the bottom of their hearts. Tianlin has also heard this legend about the magic flame melting into gold. This gold refers to something other than ordinary metal. Even the ultimate gold will turn into a pool of ink when burned by the magic flame. Compared with the evil fire of Mahanjan back then, and this devil flame, there is a gap between a thief and a murderer. If Your friend is a tough-minded person. I can throw him into the place where I have sealed the magic flame to practice, and with my help, I will ensure that his life is not in danger. After 1 year, no matter what, his strength will be obtained great improvement. Vulcan said calmly. His words made people feel that the magic flame seemed to be only good for Ma Hanjin, but Tianlin knew that it would never be that simple. The Vulcan must say no to it next. However, this demonic flame has the ability to arouse people's negative consciousness, and it is easy for people to be completely possessed. If you friends are tough-minded and resist your own negative desires, you will definitely get the qualifications to become a first-level god. But if you can't resist it, if he stays, then he will become a peerless demon, 100 times more terrifying than the so-called evil soul masters you guys call, and by then he will have complete control over the demonic flames. Even you, Tianlin, will not be able to easily stop him. Sure. Enough. Vulcan said. A terrible negative effect. Simply put, blackening is 10 times stronger. You can become a god if you go right, but you can become a demon if you go wrong. It's really a big gamble, and you can't afford to lose. Tianlin smiled bitterly and said, I'm sorry, Senior Vulcan, I really have no idea about Hanjin's character this time. Faith, please forgive me for not accepting your proposal. Brother Jian, I think Hanjin may not fail. Ningrangrang took Tianlin's hand and said, just like I want to keep getting stronger for Brother Jian, Fatty also has a sweetheart now, and people do it for the people they care about. When the time comes, infinite power will burst out. After we go back, we might as well tell Fatty and Xiangxiang about this, and let them make their own decisions. Well, you are right, his future should be decided by himself. Tianlin figured out that he could not prepare a smooth road for everyone. He can only point the way for his friends, but it's up to them to decide which way to go. After bidding farewell to the god of fire, Tianlin joined hands with Ningrangrong and returned to the far north. All their goals here had been achieved, and now it was time to return. At Ningrangrong's strong request, Tianlin did not choose to fly with his sword this time, but chose to run back with Ningrangrong. With their current strength, even if they don't run at full strength, they can go home in about 7 or 8 days, which is called exercising. But in fact, Tianlin knew that the purpose of Ningrangrong's words was just to stay with him for a while. Tianlin had already told her that after returning, he would arrange for her to go to Poseidon Island to officially start the Poseidon assessment. And Tianlin didn't plan to go with her. The two would not be able to see each other for several years, so she cherished the remaining time. 7 days later, the two of them had returned to a small town in the kingdom of Barak. Seeing that the day of separation was getting closer, the two of them deliberately slowed down their pace. In fact, they all know that the current relationship between their children is really a bit indecisive. When they become gods, they will have a lot of time for them to waste in the future. So what does it mean to be separated for just a few years? But you know, it's not that easy to do it. In fact, Tianlin should be able to do it because he possesses Shushan's immortality cultivation skills. Unfortunately, Tianlin today can only be regarded as a person who has practiced Shushan's sword skills, not a true immortality cultivator. His technique comes from the same lineage as Emperor Wa, which emphasizes love in the heart, and is completely contrary to the pure and inactive Taoist method of cultivating immortals. Therefore, although Tianlin also has Shushan's internal skills and mental methods, he has never touched them at all. It suits him now. Because he does not have the indifferent state of mind of an immortal cultivator, not to mention that he now has the ambition to dominate the continent. If he practices cultivation rashly, he is afraid of going astray. Brother Jian, we can get home in 2 days at most. By then, will I have to go to Poseidon Island immediately? Ningrangrong asked, burying her head in Tianlin's arms. Yes, we have wasted a lot of time in the past few days. In the following days, you must take some people to practice together as soon as possible. I have already written to the members of our Huangdao and asked them to gather at the Qibao Glazed sect. From among them, I will select some people to go with you. If there is Sister Yanzi, they can still accompany you all the way so that you can take care of her. Tianlin gently stroked the back of her head and said softly, don't be reluctant. When you become stronger, we will meet again soon. Yeah. Ning Rongrong nodded lightly without saying much, point seeing that she was still reluctant to let go. Tianlin suddenly thought of Tang San's method in the original novel to reassure Xiao Wu, so he said, Rongrong, after we go back, let's get married first. Chapter 397 Proposal Return to Sect. Get married. Ning Rongrong was shocked, ashamed and happy. His brother Jian proposing to her again. Although they have been engaged for a long time, Tianlin has always been burdened with too many things. In the past, it was the soul hunting operation, and then the emergence of mysterious forces, preparations for future continental wars, taking part in the divine examination, and at the same time helping himself to obtain the qualification for the divine examination etc. Ning Rongrong always felt that her brother Jian worked too hard, so no matter how much she wanted to get married as soon as possible, she would just be an ordinary wife and never force Tianlin willfully. Unexpectedly, he actually brought it up to date. Tianlin took Ning Rongrong's hand and asked, Rongrong, I know it's a bit hasty to say this suddenly. I promise you that when everything is resolved, I will provide you with the most grand wedding. Are you willing? TSK, you actually propose under such circumstances, in such an ordinary hotel, without even a bouquet of flowers, let alone a betrothal gift. I can't tell that this little brother's Ocean is actually a straight man. Zhu. The emperor smacked his lips. That's right. It's too insincere. Sister Rongrong, we can't just agree to him. The Ice Emperor said angrily. Since she now places her hope on Ning Rongrong, who will also become her companion beast in the future, then Ning Rongrong would not be wronged in the slightest point, just like the original novel protects Huo Heo. The Ice and Snow Emperors also protect the calf. To them now, Ning Rongrong is just like their newly recognized sister. I do. Unfortunately, Ning Rongrong couldn't hear Bing Di's words at all. She had been looking forward to this moment for more than a day or two. Whether the wedding was grand or not, whether there were flowers or betrothal gifts were all trivial matters. In fact, she didn't care at all. Oh, this child. Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor shook his head helplessly. Even if they had never been in love, it could be seen that Ning Rongrong had already deeply loved Tianlin. What else could she do? As a sister, in addition to blessing besides my sister's happiness, what other thoughts can I have? That night, Tianlin and Rongrong hugged each other and fell asleep. Tianlin was not a lustful ghost. He had to save the most extreme things until after they got married. This was also his respect for Ning Rongrong. The next day, the two of them continued on their way. Ning Rongrong, who had been taking their time at first and was deliberately stalling for time, ran faster than anyone else this time. The journey that might have taken 2 days originally was completed in about a day. Back at the Qibao Glazed sect, Ning Fengxi and others finally breathed a sigh of relief when they saw the two of them returning safely. This period of time made them anxious. After all, the two most important people in the sect went to such a dangerous place in the far north alone, and they still had to find the Ice and Snow Emperor, whom Ning Fengxi had never heard of. Relying on them to obtain Ning Rongrong's second martial soul was unreliable. If Tianlin hadn't always vowed that he would succeed, and if Ning Rongrong always had Chenxin spell coordinates on his body, he would never have allowed such a fantasy. Rongrong, Xiaoshan, did your plan succeed? Ning Fengxi asked hopefully. Even with his theoretical knowledge, he had never heard of creating a second martial soul the day after tomorrow. If Tianlin really completed it, that will be a miracle that spans the ages. Chenxin and the other titled Douluo, as well as the younger generation such as Guran and Mahangjan, also gathered around curiously. Seeing them, Ning Rongrong smiled slightly and proved the fact with her actions that her brother Jian would never lie. Suddenly, there was a boundless cold air all around. Ning Rongrong's hair turned snow white. Her temperament was cold, and her blue clothes danced with the cold wind, really like the legendary Snow Maiden. Especially the two blood-red soul rings surrounding him, one with 7 golden lines and the other with 3 golden lines. They are both real ferocious beast-level soul rings, and the power they contain far exceeds 100,000 years. Soul ring. Compared with these two soul rings, Ning Fengxi instantly felt that his 100,000 year blue silver emperor soul ring was no longer fragrant. Is this the Ice and Snow girl's martial spirit? It's so beautiful. I feel that Sister Rangrang in this state is even more beautiful than Qian Ringsu, the Seraphim's martial spirit. Yi Lingling sighed. Well, this girl is quite discerning. Seraphs, even god-level martial spirits, can never beat me in terms of beauty. The Ice and Snow Girl. The Snow Emperor said proudly. Humph, if it weren't for the modifications in the divine realm, the law of heaven and earth does not allow our soul beasts to become gods, and it also makes it more difficult for soul beasts to undergo a catastrophe every 100,000 years. Otherwise, with my qualifications, I will be able to transform from the Ice and Snow Girl into the Ice and Snow Goddess sooner or later. The arrogant Snow Emperor is willing to turn into a human's intelligent martial soul and soul ring. The fundamental reason is the oppression of the divine world. It's a pity that Tianlin can't change this situation now. He won't even think about it. Tianlin has always been the type who believes in doing as many things as he can and pursues reality in everything. Changing the laws of heaven and earth was too far for him who had not yet become a god. But if he really reaches the strongest level in the world one day, he may also think about doing something. Of course, he will not betray his own race as a human being and help the soul beast regain its dominance. However, he will give the soul beasts a fair chance, that is, to restore the difficulty of their great tribulations and divine tribulations to normal standards, so that top powerhouses like the Snow Emperor and Ice Emperor will not be frightened by the great tribulations. Choose reshape. The difficulty of the million-year divine calamity is now more like a first-level god attacking an extreme Douluo who is about to become a god with all his strength. The gap is like a chasm, and no matter how powerful the spirit beast is, it is impossible to succeed. But for the sake of Cheyenne Meng Iceworm, Tianlin will definitely find a way to give something back. At this time, Ning Rangrang slowly fell from the sky. She withdrew the Snow Maiden's martial spirit, but the surrounding temperature still did not change. The impact of the ultimate ice on the environment could not be eliminated in a short time. Okay, very good. You are worthy of being my granddaughter from Chengxin. Now, besides Tianlin, Rangrang is the second-ranked genius in the mainland. In my opinion, that Qian Ringsu has nothing to say about her appearance, even her cultivation talent. I may not be as good as you at this time, Shenzhen said with great pride. He has turned on the grandpa filter. Apart from anything else, in terms of cultivation speed, Qian Ringsu is actually slightly better. Ning Rangrang has fairy grass, but Qian Ringsu also has the power of Xiangsu. In the past few years, with the help of Tianlin's power, she has cultivated her soul power to an extremely pure level. No one in the continent can compare with it except Tianlin. This also makes her, even if she has reached the contra level, then the cultivation speed of level 20 Xianshan has not dropped at all, and this effect is not weaker than that of fairy grass. Furthermore, she still has love sickness broken heart red in her hand. If one day she is recognized by the king of immortal grass and takes it, her qualifications and potential will be even higher. Rangrang's only advantage is her twin martial souls. Unfortunately, without the complementary soul core of yin and yang, the twin martial souls cannot be used together. She cannot use the 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda to boost herself while fighting. Taken together, it is still difficult to better than Qian Ringsu today. Thank you for the compliment, Grandpa Jian. Grandpa Jian is the best. Ning Rangrang smiled and took Chenzin's arm and said coquettishly, it doesn't matter what the facts are. Anyway, as long as she is better than Qian Ringsu, that's her. The most recognized friend or elder who knew that in Ning Rangrang's heart, Qian Ringsu was her lifelong enemy. Chapter 398 Mahanjan's Fear. In the Qibao Hall, Tianlin and Ning Rangrang recounted to everyone the story of their trip to the far north point. When they heard that Ning Rangrang had now reached Soul Saint, and Tianlin had become Soul Douluo, Ning Fengxi and others were really proud and happy. Indescribably. A figure like Tang Heo, who was so tyrannical in the Douluo Continent that even the Wuhan Palace had been unable to completely solve, unexpectedly fell into the hands of the younger generation of their 7 treasure glazed sect. Haoshan Douluo has always been a title that can only be inherited by the strongest in the Haoshan sect. In the past, no matter which force heard this title, their expressions changed when they heard it, but now, to the 7 treasure glazed tile sect, it is nothing more than a joke. HMPH. Then Tang Heo has killed too many soul beasts in his life. In his heart, only his wife is special. The other soul beasts are all evil, as long as they block his way. Now they are set up by you to die. In the hands of the Ice and Snow Emperor, it is considered a worthy death. Ning Feng's he said with a smile. Without Tang Chen, Tang Heo is the strongest combat power of the Haoshan sect. Even if Tang Zio is higher in level, Tang Zio does not have 100,000-year soul ring, and does not know how to use the Sumeru hammer, so his real combat power is not as good as Tang Heo. Now once he died, Haoshan sect no longer had anything to worry about. Without Shenzhen, Guran can now challenge Tang Zio, because during the time when Tianlin and Ningrangrang went to the far north, Guran also gained something, reaching level 97. The strength has skyrocketed. After hearing this news, Tianlin really regretted his mistake. He should have killed Tangsun earlier. If he had absorbed his luck earlier, he would have been banned long ago, and Guran would not have been troubled by the bottleneck for so long. Boss, eldest sister, is the Vulcan inheritance place you mentioned true? Have you really seen the Vulcan? Mahanjan looked at the two of them expectantly. He had heard of the Vulcan from Tianlin before. One of the main gods of the element in the god realm, a first level god, no less important than the angel god of Wuhan Temple and the Poseidon of Poseidon Island. Previously, in order to encourage Mahanjan, Tianlin had always asked him to work hard towards the god of Vulcan. Unknowingly, Mahanjan had already regarded the god of Vulcan as his idol and the ultimate achievement he aspired to achieve. Hearing this, Tianlin and Ningrangrang's expressions changed, but they didn't want to hide it from Mahanjan. Brother Jian, let me do the talking this time. Ningrangrang looked at Mahanjan and said, Hanjan, we did see the god of fire, but Ningrangrang conveyed what the Vulcan said at that time word for word. Mahanjan, who was originally extremely happy, was now covered in cold sweat. It turns out that my own background is not enough to carry the position of fire god, unless I pass the baptism of the demon flame, and this so-called demon flame is a flame that is 100 times more terrifying than the evil fire I had back then. I couldn't even resist the evil fire burning my body, let alone the demonic flames entering my body. Although the god of fire said that he could save his life without worrying about it. In fact, it was even more terrifying, because it would be better to die. After all, Douluo Continent has existed for millions of years, and how many geniuses died on the way to becoming gods? In other words, if he, Mahanjan, could become one of them, he could die with honor, because most people are not even qualified to die on this road. However, if he does not die, he will turn into a giant monster that brings trouble to the world, and his qualifications and potential will even surpass the 4 extreme Douluo today. When Mahanjan reaches a certain level of strength, and the gods cannot directly interfere with human affairs, the disaster will be huge. Hanjan, this is too scary. How about we not go? Senior brother said that with your qualifications, it is not difficult for a second level god. There is no need to endure such a big disaster for a first level god. Bei Chengxiang was frightened and quickly dissuaded Mahanjan, but the boss said that if you are a second level god, you can't bring your relatives to the god world. Then I will spend eternity alone. Then what's the point of becoming a god? Instead of doing that, why not give it a try? Mahanjan said tremblingly. Besides, if I were the number 1 genius, disaster might happen, but there are many people who surpass me in this world. Boss, Rangrang, and even Kyan Rinksu from the spirit hall. Even if I turn into a demon, they will definitely be able to stop me, so I actually don't have anything to worry about. Tianlin didn't expect that Mahanjan would choose to agree, but seeing his trembling hands, Tianlin knew that in fact, this guy had not made up his mind at all. He was just comforting himself. In this state, even if he really sent him to the Vulcan inheritance place now, he is afraid that he will also shrink from the battle. Tianlin shook his head secretly. The magic flames entered his body, and those with a strong will could not resist. In Mahanjan's state, the success rate was absolutely 0. Hanjan, I won't take you there until you really make up your mind. I want you to become a god, not to help you become a demon soon. Tianlin said straightforwardly. Mahanjan couldn't help but lower his head. He could deceive others, but he couldn't deceive Tianlin. Tianlin saw clearly the fear in his heart and the bravery on the surface. Guran glanced aside. If it was him, maybe he could succeed. Guran's talent is definitely the worst among their group. It is not as good as the Shrek 7 Devils or the rest of Huangdao. Compared with himself, the gap is huge. But after so many years, not only has my soul power failed to catch up with his, but the gap between the two has not been reduced much. The reason for this, apart from Tianlin's real help, the more important reason lies in Guran himself. When others were resting, he was practicing, and when others were practicing, he was practicing harder. In order to keep up with Tianlin, this guy almost sacrificed everything he had. With such a persevering mind, he would definitely be able to after passing the Vulcan test. It is a pity that the difference in talent is a huge talent gap that is difficult to make up for in the future. Perhaps Guran could become a titled Douluo or even a super Douluo in this life, but not to mention the first level god. Even the second level god position was out of reach for him. I'm such a waste. Mahanjan clenched his fists unwillingly. He had an amazing talent, but because of his personality, he couldn't even muster the courage to take the divine examination. Seeing that the atmosphere was not good at this time, Oscar, who was good at enlivening the atmosphere, stood up and put his arm around Mahanjan's shoulder and smiled. "Oh, fat man, why are you in such a hurry? How old are you? Can such things as character be tempered? I'll wait for you again. When you grow up to 20 years old, you may be mature, and it won't be too late to take the divine examination then, and you will be stronger, and have a higher level, so your chances of success will increase." Right. What Oscar said was actually similar to what Tianlin had originally thought. This was indeed the safest plan. After Oscar finished speaking, he looked at Ning Rangrong again. "By the way, Tianlin Rangrong, I have heard that Tang Heo has soul bones. If you kill him, you must also plunder all his treasures, right? At this time, shouldn't it be time to share the dirt?" If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 399, Dividing the Spoils. Hearing this, everyone looked at Tianlin and Ning Rangrong with bright eyes. They all know that, although the 6 soul bones in Tang Heo's body are precious, they are only 10,000 years old at most, and there is no existence of more than 100,000 years. Based on Tianlin's requirements, he will never look down on this age. Now Ning Rangrong also has a better future to explore. Therefore, these 6 soul bones are most likely his. It's really like a group of cats smelling fishy smell. Tianlin smiled and opened the soul guide and took out the 7 soul bones inside. In addition to Tang Heo's 6 soul bones, there was also Tang San's 100,000 year blue silver, the Emperor's right leg bone. Although the Qibao glazed sect does not lack ordinary soul bones, these are a total of 7 top level soul bones. Even the spirit hall cannot easily take them out, unless the golden crocodile's whole body is hollowed out. Originally, it would be good to give Ning Rangrong the 100,000 year old leg bone, but unfortunately, she already had the right leg part, and Tianlin kept it until now, in order to make Tang Heo angry. But it can't always be empty. The soul bone, although this thing is powerful and precious, it only makes sense if someone uses it. Even if there are 7 yuan here, it is actually not enough to divide it. For the older generation and the younger generation combined, 1 yuan is not enough for each person. In the end, we can only choose the suitable one to distribute. Tang Heo's soul bones were all strength soul bones, which were not suitable for Ning Fengzi, Du Gubo, Yi Lingling and others, so they all chose to give up. There was also Yin Yang, who had just received 2 from Ning Fengzi not long ago. A higher level soul bone. Of course I'm embarrassed to continue to reach out now. Tianlin selected a piece from it and handed it to Chenxin. He knew that Chenxin would have to face Kai and Douluo on his own in the future. In order to increase the chance of winning, he would need 6 soul bones all over his body. Today Chenxin has a total of 4 soul bones in his body, 2 of which were given by the sect, 1 was obtained by hunting a soul beast when he advanced to the 9th ring, and the last one is a 100,000 year old behemoth giant gifted by Tianlin. animal trunk bones. The two remaining parts of him were the right arm bone and the right leg bone. It happened that one of the two strongest Haoshan sect inherited soul bones in Tang Hao's body was the right arm bone, so Tianlin gave that one to him. The heart of dust, grandpa. Bones, I'll give you this left leg bone. Ning Rangrang picked up another inheritance bone of the Haoshan sect and obediently handed it to his grandpa Bones. Gurang now also has two soul bones in his body, one skull and one right leg bone. Now with the addition of the left leg bone, his speed will be greatly improved, and his weird attack capabilities will also be strengthened in the future. Hey, my good granddaughter, since I have grandpa Bones, can grandpa Bones not give up his left leg and let me choose by myself? Gurang asked with a smile. Of course you can, but besides the blue silver emperor soul bone, the highest quality here is the left leg bone, but the blue silver emperor is the right leg bone. Grandpa, you already have this part, and the blue silver emperor's life the breath is not suitable for your death attribute. Ning Rangrang thought that Gurang didn't like the left leg bone, so she tried to persuade her. Gurang shook his head. I want the right leg bone, but it's not the blue silver emperor, but the one left by Tang Hao. Ning Rangrang was very confused when she heard this. She didn't understand why Gurang already had a soul bone of worse quality. I see, Uncle Gu. Thank you for taking the trouble. Ning Fengzi smiled slightly and understood Gurang's intention. Gurang picked up the right leg bone and threw it towards Chenzin without even looking at it. Old swordsman, please take it with me. Old Bones, you. Chenzin held the soul bone and made no immediate move. Don't say anything sensational. Have you forgotten? It's our dream to overthrow the soul masters Shuangaiu. Unfortunately, I can never do it. So, the old swordsman, go and defeat Qibao in an honest way. Liu, become the strongest soul master in the world. Gurang said boldly. Hearing this, Chenzin put away his soul bones and smiled confidently. Okay, old Bones, I promise you that within 5 years, you will see the sword god come to this world. The friendship between Zhang Jiui and Zhang Jiui is not inferior to that of Zhu Jiui at all. However, the two of them are just a pure brotherhood. Zhu Jiui has become a bit spoiled. Tianlin even thought of giving Zhu Douluo the love heartbreaking red. Maybe he can be recognized by the king of immortal grass. Gurang gave his soul bone to Chenzin. Although the brotherhood was touching, he once again gained nothing by doing so. In the end, Ning Fengzi, as his father-in-law and father, gained a new relationship from Tianlin and Ning Rangrang. He asked for the left leg bone and then gave it to Gurang. Over the years, Ning Fengzi has given Gurang one soul bone and the other one was discovered when he was hunting for soul rings. In fact, he still felt somewhat indebted to this uncle. Anyway, Tianlin and Ning Rangrang were his daughter and son-in-law, and they were fully qualified to repay Gurang's many years of dedication on his behalf. Boss, I have to choose two. I choose the skull. Gurang said suddenly. He imitated his master, picked up the skull, and threw it to Mahanjan. Come on, Hanjan, remember that I owed you a piece of cake. Soul bones, I'll give them back to you this time. Haha, no need to thank me. After hearing what Tianlin just said about the magic flame, Gurang understood. To pass the test of the magic flame, the most important thing is willpower. Although the addition of soul bones to the attributes of the whole body is comprehensive, it still has some emphasis. Among them, the skull's spiritual bonus is far stronger than other parts. Mahanjan immediately understood Gurang's painstaking efforts and was moved in his heart. Gurang wanted to imitate his master in expressing his concern for his brothers and his own generosity, but the problem was, thank you, Gurang, but I originally wanted to choose the skull, and this time, you don't seem to have the right to choose. Ran was stunned by Mahanjan's words, and Yilingling said with a look of hatred on his face, how come you only know how to practice, but you don't know how to think at all? Today's soul bones are not yours in the first place. Think about it. The 4 soul bones on your body are the head, torso and arms. What is missing is only the legs, but the legs have been given to the 2 crown princes, and the attributes of the blue silver emperor's leg bones are the same as you don't fit in. You already have the rest, so how can you still have your share? Damn, I forgot. Gurang felt embarrassed all of a sudden. Tianlin usually loved him too much and would bring him a share of any good things, which made him subconsciously think that he must have a share today, but he ignored it. The parts on his body have already been repeated. No matter how partial Tianlin is, there is no need to give him the parts he already has. TSK. TSK, you are worthy of our Huang Dao's intellectual responsibility. Giving someone else's soul bone that should have been theirs, and paying off the debt is indeed a plan to kill two birds with one stone. Ko Liang. Yu Feng said with a smile. Guran was said to be ashamed. In fact, although everyone laughed at him, there was no malice, because they all understood that this guy didn't think so much at all. He just simply cared about Mahanjan, so he wanted to help him. It's just that his IQ is really, it's hard to compliment, alas. Yi Lingling sighed helplessly. From now on, if he and Tianlin are not around this guy, he might be betrayed one day without even knowing it. But Tianlin's pace is too fast, and he will always be there. One day, they will reach a place that is too high for them to reach, and they will be separated from this little brother. Guran, who has lost Tianlin, will only have to worry about it. Chapter 400. Tianlin proposes marriage. Although Guran made a mistake, Mahanjan did get the skull he wanted, and the subsequent distribution of soul bones was much simpler. There is also a left arm bone, a trunk bone, and the right leg bone of the 100,000-year-old Blue Silver Emperor. The left arm was given to Meng Yiren, the torso was given to Yu Feng, and finally the most precious Blue Silver Emperor leg bone, Ning Rangrang, was directly handed over to Yi Lingling. Blue Silver Emperor and Jinux and Begonia are both plants, and their attributes are very compatible. Moreover, the auxiliary system is more important than the auxiliary ability, which is the ability to save lives on the battlefield. The skills of this Blue Silver Emperor's soul bone are flight, wildfire, indestructible, and spring breeze. With these two skills, Yi Lingling's battlefield survival rate will be several times higher after the soul bones were distributed. Apart from Guran, there were still 3 people who had not received this: Bei Chengxiang, Huanayan, and Oscar. Bei Chengxiang was okay. After all, she had just received the fairy elixir that was more precious than the soul bone not long ago. As for Huanayan, Tianlin also taught her all the secret skills of Ling Yin, one of the 7 saints of Shu Mountain, including Ling Ying, Hasty Tune, and Desolation, Sigh, Samsara Song, Formation of Heavenly Sound, etc. Huanayan was completely immersed in it. To her, these songs were so precious that no matter how many soul bones she was asked to exchange for them, she would not be willing to do so. She did not yet know how much impact these songs would have on her future. The Royal Dao Center originally had 10 people, 1 teacher and 9 students, a very round number, and she was the 11th one, which seemed like an extra one, but in fact, she was the one who would be able to find her own way in the future, is the first point. As for Oscar, Tianlin gave him the remaining fairy elixir. After all, among all the people who joined the sect, Oscar received almost no reward, but he did not help the sect. Small point. Nowadays, when disciples of the sect go out to do errands or hunt soul beasts for promotion, they will carry several sausages made by him with them. Countless people have been saved by his sausages, which also makes Oscar very popular in the sect. With his merits, no one would have any objections to getting this elixir, and Oscar, who didn't have the elixir, didn't know if he would be favored by the god of cookery. The elixir's medicinal power was no less than that of the 8-petal fairy orchid. After dividing the spoils, everyone was about to disperse, taking their newly acquired gifts to strengthen themselves. Tianlin suddenly walked up to Ning Fengxi and said, "Uncle Ning, Tianlin has something to ask for." Ning Fengxi, who was about to leave, sat back down and smiled lightly. "Xiaoshan, what are you going to say?" In fact, he already had a guess in his mind, and besides, he originally wanted to do this. However, as the woman's father, this kind of matter should be raised by the man and his elders, both emotionally and logically. "Uncle, Ning Rangrang has successfully obtained the twin martial souls and activated the vast sea universe shield. In the following days, she must go to Poseidon Island as soon as possible to participate in the Poseidon 9 examinations. This will take at least several years, and in order to break through to the title Douluo, I need to practice for a period of time, so I want to have a simple wedding with Rangrang before we part ways. No, this may offend Rangrong, but I swear that when everything is settled, I will give her the most magnificent wedding and ask Uncle Ning to make it happen. Tianlin, Rangrong is my only daughter. She is in love with you. You have been engaged for a long time. Now that you are almost age and want to get married, of course I will not have any objections. Ning Feng's his expression became serious. However, you should know what kind of thorny road we will walk in the future. Do you have the confidence not to let a sharp thorn prick Rangrong and let her live in peace for the rest of her life? Of course. Tianlin said immediately. It doesn't matter if you don't have them. Shenzhen suddenly stood up. Fengxi, Rangrong and Xiaoshan are still young. Although they still have a lot of immaturity, aren't we here? In fact, there is no peace in the years. It's just that someone is carrying a heavy burden and moving forward. As a master and a grandfather, I will be the one to bear the heavy burden. So, little Shine Rangrong, you don't have to worry about anything, and you don't have to be afraid of future dangers. Just get married. Sword Fighter Luo Chengxin. In fact, in terms of protecting his shortcomings, he is even better than Tang Heo. The difference is that he has a bottom line in doing things. He will only do everything he can to protect important people and will not do anything meaningless. Killing, Master, Grandpa, Jian, thank you. Tianlin and Ning Rangrong looked at each other, their hearts filled with emotion. They both bowed down in front of him at the same time. Tianlin asked, Master, if Rangrong and I get married, our parents will naturally be our parents, but you at the same time, you are the closest person to me, Rangrong, and I hope that you will be our witness. Okay, I'm very happy to witness your happiness. Shenzhen smiled and helped the two of them up. He had watched both children grow up, and they were both the most important people in his life. Even the matter of becoming gods was not as important to him as the two children in front of him. Great, the boss and Rangrong are getting married. We must celebrate it well this time. Mahanjan has a lively personality, and he shamelessly approached Bei Chengxiang. Hey, Xiangxiang, why don't we do the same? Together. What? A beautiful idea. Before she could finish her words, Bei Chengxiang's high-heeled shoe stepped hard on Mahanjan's foot. How long have we known each other? Let's talk about it in 100,000 years. 100,000 years. Mahanjan was stunned. With this terrifying number, wasn't it equivalent to being rejected by Bei Chengxiang? In fact, anyone can tell that Bei Chengxiang is joking. It's a pity that although Mahanjan, a fat man, has had countless girls in the past, he always cares about girls, but not his heart. Therefore, when it comes to girls, he, like Guran, is straight. Male type. Just when he was desperate, Bei Chengxiang changed the topic. However, although I'm worried, if you still decide to go to the magic flame that my senior brother mentioned, and come back successfully from it, I will not agree to reduce your lifespan to 99,999. Yeah, then, there's only 1 year left. Mahanjan's mood was like a roller coaster, with ups and downs. Bei Chengxiang's words brought him back from the loss. He was just straight, but not a fool. Now, where could he be? He still didn't understand that Bei Chengxiang was actually not rejecting him, but encouraging him. At this time, there was another person who was more excited than them, and that was Guran. Boss, don't worry, I will handle all the details of your wedding with my eldest sister this time. I will make it a success for you. Light, when the Qibao Glazed sect had not yet developed to its current level, there were only 3 of them who were the most outstanding among the younger generation, and Tianlin regarded him as a family member. No need. Guran, Rangrong and I don't plan to make a big deal this time, just invite a few people. Tianlin said with a smile. Neither he nor Ning Rangrong is greedy. This time, he doesn't need thousands of blessings from thousands of people. He only needs his best relatives and friends by his side. If it is too grand, then 2 people will not be able to appear. One is Ning Rangrong's best friend Zhu Zuking, and the other is Tianlin's brother Oslo, because they are both theoretically dead. Only in private gatherings can they come together just in time. Tianlin planned to use this wedding to gather everyone together and discuss future plans. As for the grander thing, I will add it later. At that time, Tianlin must have become the strongest in the world, and there is no need to have any scruples. Even if the dead person appears again, no one dares to take action against him. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.